I get the license plate of that truck on me? Because I'm pretty sure he backed up. It's a couple of times.
I think the license plate says life. First license.
I like the old Eddie Murphy bit. They don't just hit you once. Hey man, I think you hit somebody. Back up and find out. Yeah, you did hit somebody. Well, go on. Just did one visit. Took my daughter to the zoo for her birthday Sunday. Had my little niece with me. She's in the stroller. By 3 o'clock, everybody's going to run down anyway. Her being a toddler, she's got one little handheld thing over here. She's got one on her stroller, and she's just book spin. And I look, I said, "Are you running out of gas?" And she goes, "She ain't got any energy to dodge."
Don't take much.
So we got down to the elephants and stuff, and Cherokee started just turning, beating her head. So we made our way to the back of the front. We got up in the front. Got over to the med station, they were trying to cool her down. Somebody in the car, a lot of our Cherokee got sick. So we just barely made it to the front. It's too late. Ironically, it didn't really affect me.
That's good.
But that used to be me when I was little, but I almost got myself here a couple weeks ago that way. I was out in the yard, messed around, you got about 12:30, and I started getting a headache. I went in and sat out on the table, and I drank a glass of water. And I thought, man, I got a headache. And then all of a sudden, every muscle in my body started tightening up.
That's when you know.
It's like when you get the really violent sneeze.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh. And I went, oh, the hell with it. And I just went outside and threw all my tools in the toolbox and went in. And we got a mix it valve. Normally I'd have it about 2 o'clock position. And I had it at 4 o'clock position. Just barely on, so it was almost all rolled. And I was standing there, leaning against the wall. It felt hot. And I finally just crossed my legs, sat down on the floor, and sat there. And I sat there until my knees hurt.
Let us, maybe first thing tomorrow morning, let's put a post out, just kind of give everyone an update.
And I've been suffering ever since. I've been tired of it.
I know, it's just
The new
brutal.
guys that they're hiring for ours, they're wanting around 60 a week. I told them, absolutely not.
Well, I was supposed to off last Monday. Had court. I got told Sunday night. So you got Saturday and that first? Oh, that was all day.
Yeah.
And I had to work that night shift. Then I had to work doubles Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's Sunday night. I get told again, hey, Monday you got court. I'm like, well, that's my job. I got to work. So I had to spend one day off yesterday in court in Oklahoma County.
On Monday yesterday, normally I'm done by Saturday.
Did you get yourself a magnetic case?
Yeah.
You just put the back on.
Is it actually worse?
Yeah. I got home about 9 o'clock last night. After I got left about 3:45.
I thought I had an extra.
She said, "I'm good."
You usually go pick up your number.
Because I ended up like,
It should.
I ain't get a phone call, so.
See your house when I needed pliers. There you go.
Thank
you.
It's like, I don't think anybody would die first overnight.
Yeah.
heavy assumption to make, maybe, if you're wrong. I figured out
They
something.
had whatever was in the refrigerator would last them till morning.
It says we're recording.
Got me.
Thanks for doing that right as I sat down. Central. It's gonna be right next to 615. 617.
Central's last street going out of town. Oh, no, Central's, 105. What's going on there?
Somebody fell through the porch, 7-year-old. Fell through the porch.
All the porch stuff out there, porches, most of it's seen on the south side of the road. Where it's, where Smith used to live.
Eight is the plan, wow, God, how long did you do that?
Yeah.
Nobody in your house.
Did you park next to the red side? Make sure we just back it up and watch if I back up a little bit. But, there's the big noise on that, I was on the block road.
I mean, there's not a sign that says don't park on the sidewalk.
That is pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty dark outside, so
Yeah, I was on.
we can admit it was pretty dark outside. I did that 3 times today. I kept pulling up next to it and going with it. I was like, oh, wait.
Sure, hold up.
My little car sits so low in the front, I was ready to pull up too close to your curb.
Yeah.
I pulled up the store the other day and I got out and I went,
Yeah, I got mine.
So that I'm learning. Far back. And she's got to hand it on there. I'm like, get out of the car.
Why we like you? Not enough room. I dropped curb.
we'll get this. This meeting started. Time of Tryon Board of Trustees regular meeting July 7th, 2026 at 6 p.m. First Baptist Church at 122 North First Street, Tryon, Oklahoma. Call to order. Number 2, roll call.
Shannon here.
Nathan here.
Sean here.
Heather here.
James here. 3, consideration action on consent agenda. 3.1, approval of minutes for June 2nd, 2026, June 9th, 2026, June 16th, 2026, June 25th, 2026.
So I just scanned the first 2 and I already found an error on each. So I would like to table these to have a chance to really dive through them. Okay. Yep, so I move that we table all of the regular meetings minutes for June 2nd, June 9th, June 16th, and June 25th to give board members more of a chance to review them.
Sean, yes.
Nathan, yes.
James, yes. 3.2, approval of monthly department head reports. 3.2.2, police. 3.2.3, fire. 3.24, library. 3.25, grants.
On the grants, when we're to the utility side, that's more big on us.
Okay.
Have we always seen extra patrols listed in these police reports? I don't remember that before.
I had never seen it before either.
There's a lot of them.
Someone probably called.
Well,
asked for extra-
I was wondering if this is their way of
Yeah.
showing us that they are in town more.
More likely, more likely someone called and said, hey, can you do extra patrol? That's why they did it.
More than likely. Was it
Yeah.
you?
I haven't been here.
Is it possible on the traffic stuff to get a location other than just trying?
We were originally told that we could edit those reports. We've had board members ask, and they're just
They
There used to
essentially
be on there.
refuse.
Yeah. They've been on there before.
How about they give us ID?
They won't tell me they said we can observe the records. Even though our records, our citation records don't went into their report records, because they don't have the location.
Yeah.
That would be something that I would think we could consider discussing with them the next time.
We have
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send another email request, just have the question asked?
Hey, you can always be like, hey, we have a new board member and they were asking.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do.
I guess my only reason for asking is because, with living on Oklahoma Street and that is prominently the, raceway of Tryon. It is the main thoroughfare. And I've had a lot of, I've been very vocal about it, and I have seen them patrol more, but I think I would like to just know how much of these traffic stop to
Or at the stop sign.
or either
Or
at the
even
stop
on
sign.
Oklahoma, like if you can tell that they're actually doing more stops than they're.
Yes.
On the prior report, weren't they gonna take these 3 names off of it?
We haven't done that yet. We were kind of going through the rest of the papers. So,
Court papers.
yeah, we had just a pre-print ad, but we were just gonna, I think that was.
Any questions on the reports?
Other than just asking about getting, some more clarity on it.
Clarification.
Is it just the location that you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Nice. I mean, I'm not trying to.
So-
Specific area.
Here's my question though. There's a good example. Here we have a domestic call. I guess they already put the street name of that stuff. It's just the traffic ones they don't, isn't it?
Yeah, even the juvenile. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't wanna make it.
Yeah, I mean, we can't
more than
publish
what it
people's
needs to be,
addresses,
but, you know, was there a citation, just a verbal, I don't know.
I don't know how important it is, like, the exactness of this report, but like, they have extra patrol as Wellston, Oklahoma, like, that's not even trying. And they have a Stillwater on this list too. The Stillwater's a follow-up, that could be related to something in Tryon. But the Wellston one is interesting, extra patrol in Wellston, I mean, that's all well and good, but it doesn't apply to us.
But other than that, no, I don't have anything.
Okay, need a motion to approve the police report, department head report.
I move that we accept the police department report.
No second.
Maybe,
Heather, yes.
James, yes.
I move that we accept the fire report.
Nathan second.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about?
Nope, we started summer program, had 8 kids show up between the 2 days, 8 individuals. We've been doing summer food boxes. Every time we've cleared out all 50 boxes, we only have 2 more left. The next one's tomorrow. We still have space on our senior commodity box list.
Good. More kids than last year for the summer program at this time? About the same.
I think our maximum last year was 12 in the building, when we were in the old building, it was like 25 if I remember.
That will, yeah, hopefully that will be better.
So hopefully once we get the new building and have more space, we'll have more kids.
Here's second.
Any motion for
I move
library?
that we accept the library report.
I'll second.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. You said we'll use the grant.
Yeah, get more lights for you don't have to do something with that.
Let's see, 3.3, approval of monthly financial reports.
They have the,
Financial claims are not in there. We're once again having a close this year, but we're doing the same thing it was before. Don't know what it's, I don't know what the problem is. We really need to try to find something else. Yeah, square closes are not possibly not going to do that. I spent 4 hours on it today trying to figure out how we're $1,800 difference. Be ready to be reconciled, it will not let me reconcile because we're $1,800 difference somewhere. I've tried everything I can to find out, I still can't find it, but.
you want to print me those reports like we did with that 30 cents I found?
Yeah,
Try to get some of my Excel flew out.
yeah,
Have you ever done offline?
I don't know the difference between offline or online, but I would not mind trying offline.
I feel like
Because
it's so much
online
more
is hard.
Have we always used online
Yes.
since? Okay.
I don't know what the difference is. I don't know how that would work. I do not know how else to call, see if I can get actually a hold of a person. I do not want to keep it online, should I say.
Yeah, the
And it's
offline
still
might be
even,
a world of difference.
it's still even, though it's supposed to be disconnected, it's still pulling stuff from his side, and it's pulling stuff off of bank accounts.
So the biggest thing that I would say if we go offline is it stores it locally. So we would definitely want to make sure that as we make our own backups regularly, we're also saving that to the workspace account. That way, if the building gets hit with a tornado or something, heaven forbid, then we still have it on a cloud system.
If it gets to that point.
So that would be my only.
I got talking to Tryon online, and they're about to work stuff like.
Like I said, as long as we don't store backups, all of our backups on site, we do what we need to do.
And like, what was the mistake that you found?
It was 30
or
cents.
whatever, the QuickBooks had it as, one thing, is that did it pull it from, did they say that? Is that the one I was told?
So I compared May's bank statement to May's QuickBooks, and there was an ADP payroll tax for May 16th to May 31st that I believe QuickBooks had $897.22 and the bank had $897.52. So I'm guessing that was probably a typo, since they're right there on the number pad.
And I do know that when I went back and looked at the history report, about where the numbers are from, it showed a bunch of this, like when you go in and edit it or delete it or whatever, it'll tell you who did it. Then there's a bunch of system edits. Like the system itself is deleting things. And you'll have to come in and look.
I will do that on Thursday.
Yeah. So,
See if we can get an audit trail.
you know, so. So that is why we are not in the whole.
Okay, let's table those until
Yep, that's fine.
next month. We have a special meeting between now and then.
I move that we table the monthly financials and claims until our next regular meeting. That way we're not, we don't want to do a special meeting if we have one.
Other second.
Sean, yes.
Dave, yeah.
James, yes. 4, consideration items removed from consent agenda. 5, public appearances, petitions, demonstrance, communications, and personal appearances.
Do you have anything to say? Floor's yours.
No, he has nothing to say.
6, proposal of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Tryon entering into executive session in accordance with Title 25, Section 307, subsection B-1, discussing employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplinary or resignation of any individual, salaried, public official, or employee. 6.1.1, Jan Lee Marcus, job duties, responsibilities, and performance, and policy and procedures. Need a
I move that we enter into
Motion.
executive session.
Heather, yes.
Sean, yes.
James, yes.
Do you want me to stay or do you need to?
I'll give you a minute if you don't mind. If Spencer, can you shut the screen on the camera, please? Thank you.
And you remember the VHS will have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So there's 2 of those on board. And it was 2 to 3 interviews per one.
Wow. I remember,
I got one.
I think the only VHS that I still have is like a collector's edition Titanic that has like the special box and a little piece of film strip and everything, so. But I don't think I've opened that box in 10 years.
Okay, everybody ready? Number 7, re-enter regular meeting from an executive session. Need a motion?
Move that we re-enter from executive session.
I'll say.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. 8, consideration discussion action on matters discussed in executive session. 6.1, Jan Lee Marcus, job duties, responsibilities, and performance, and policy procedures.
We just had a conversation. We laid down some expectations for the library for keeping it a little more picked up, a little more organized. We talked about some possible donations from various places around here to donate to the library, as well as being able to move to 23 hours a week starting now, and that we would hope that more of those hours would be in the evenings that more people could use.
Number 9, miscellaneous. 9.1, consideration discussion action on merge engagement team town letter.
Guess I'll go knocking door to door.
You got one.
Trying to rub some people in. Yeah, I mean,
I did have somebody call today that was interested. I'll give you his contact.
that's great, that's great. So, hoping we have a few people, and I did, another copy of our minutes from that meeting we had with Charlotte. Basically just kind of things we really need to go over. She did send over like an example, just, once we do all of the paperwork, we just have to upload it, and then we'll be in the system. We just have to put together our
see, from 6 to 6:30, 6 to 6:30 is the fire association meeting, and then 6:30 till whatever we.
First of the month on Monday. No, second. Just gotta get it going.
What was this, 6:30 to whenever it was in uniform, just regular fire meeting?
Yeah, the fire meeting, training, work night. Fire everything up.
On the hope that we get everything established, maybe just quarterly sit down.
No.
Once it gets rolling, you don't really need anything or something.
Just plan ahead.
Okay. 9.2, consider discussion action on special election details.
So do we have to vote? I know we talked a lot about it, we never really finalized, the extra stuff on there, do we need to vote it in? Or, I know the cutoff is like,
The last communication I got from
I have to
Kenneth,
get with OPM, find out when.
yeah, the last time I talked to Kenneth, he was actually moving to, like, out of that department, somewhere else, like it was Tulsa. So he's giving me the contact for Kim, I can pass that on to him.
I just think we wanna put some stuff in there, we gotta vote it in, get, whatever, we gotta paperwork turned in, whoever.
Did we not vote for those?
I know we talked about the stuff, but we didn't, we kind of waiting on him,
Yeah, we can't vote for anything.
because he was gonna check to see what we could put on there, and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.3, consider discussion action on illegal actions taken on residents vote to change town clerks to appointed versus being elected. 2 board member actions cannot be voted on in 1 town poll vote.
So, I put this on there because we talked a little bit about it last month, but I really felt like we had some, or I had questions, I had spoke with some Tryon stuff. Okay, I'm like, hey, I said it wrong. I just, what I saw was 2 actions, and it was only 1 vote. So, in order to take or change something in our ordinances, it has to go before the town, and I don't bring it here and just as board votes, just the first action. We then have to take it to combine those positions, and so it was really confusing to me that that was put up on the ballot when they weren't even categorized. One was an appointed, one was an elected. So like, it
There's
really-
actually, both of them was elected at one time. But like I was telling you before, one, we could not get anyone to ever file for. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
here for 30-something years.
But
No
in-
one ever filed for that.
In
Treasurer?
the town code,
Treasurer?
in the town code,
So-
the treasury cannot, the town clerk cannot be the town treasurer.
And it says secretary.
Or secretary, you're right, secretary. And then we have another one that's like, well, they're just together, but we never changed that in the ordinance. Do that, if we wanna keep those 2 together, it has to go out to the town to vote on. Did you do any studying on
Like
that?
the treasurer and the clerk together, or the?
What do you mean by?
Yeah. If it's in our ordinance that the town clerk cannot be the town secretary, right, we have to put that out for the town to agree or disagree.
But the position that we did the vote on that you were saying is illegal was for the clerk treasurer, not the secretary.
But that's what I'm saying, that,
The word secretary wasn't even involved in that.
wasn't it, or we want to try and combine all of them?
No, so what I wanted to do and what we talked about was just removing that line from the ordinance because there really is no secretary position anymore.
Yeah, and well, we can't just remove it, that has to be, if it's an ordinance, in order for it to change, you can't just be a motion we make here at the table.
Well, but we made the motion, we had the public hearing, and we were gonna put it on the ballot
For which one?
to remove that line from the
So
ordinance.
is that one of the things that, y'all, cause I don't remember that, I don't remember it being voted on, there was a little bit of
Yeah.
discussion, but never like a,
Yeah,
did you do any study?
There was
or-
that. What's that?
It was voted on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't happening. So, everything that I've seen,
By tape, right, not the town.
yeah, my understanding is, and again, I haven't gone back with them, because I'm not in a position, I've seen some of the documents, of course, all predates me, so I don't know. Short of going back and doing some kind of an exhaustive audit myself, to say, hey, here's a formal legal opinion about, this is what it was. If I'm the first one who says, now, you know, the town code gets confusing because if you go online and go look it up, there's a version there that is clearly not the current version of what the town code is, and so that it gets really kind of confusing. I know there's others there. Without going and seeing, I can't go tell you my personal legal opinion yet. This is what I think. My understanding from having talked to all the sources that I have talked to is, I think where we are, I know how the town got to where it is, and I think that the plan to do and address it in the special election in August, then to kind of limit, to clean up that one question that we just talked about, I think that will fix those issues and take care of it. I don't think that we are in anywhere where we're operating illegally or anything like that. I think it's there. I know why there's questions. I get it.
It's just the way the town, I mean, if you read it, which is obviously, you can't sit down and do it all, but we're a little bit conflicting in some places.
Well,
And that's the part
but
that
the problem we have is, like you're saying,
Yeah,
go online is something else than what we actually have.
Yeah.
And that's because the town attorney, that's part of his job, is to go through the code, look, make sure everything's up to date, and pass our attorney test.
correct. And that's kind of why, that's why we're still.
So, that's one thing we need to work on, is once we get these new ordinances changed, to make sure that we file them in the courthouse like they're supposed to be filed, and do every step that we gotta do to do it, and then make sure that we put the new ordinances online, so everyone is aware of the new ordinances.
I know this is kind of off the topic of that. Are we going to get a new website?
We are. I have a template made and everything. I haven't gotten a whole lot to it because we jumped right into having help with utility helper, or the utility clerk position and the current software and all the QuickBooks and all of that. So now that we have a good portion behind us on that, I have a few more templates I software people, so they can start building our database, and then from there, I can start putting a little more
Is there
attention to it.
is there any way of shutting down the current website that we had on, like, put it under construction or something?
I mean, it's a WordPress site, so I'm sure there is. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure. I'll look at something soon.
I'm sure there is too.
Yeah, just put like a coming soon page or something and archive the other pages. So the domain isn't going anywhere because we paid for that, so.
So yeah, once we get everything, the election in August, we get everything, I think everything will line out the way it should be, but we just have to have the election. It has to be put on the ballot for August.
That's enough.
Yeah.
They'll have to vote, but did you say that you did vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a public hearing, all that stuff.
And then after the public hearing, we voted at a meeting to put it up for election.
Okay, we're at 9.4, consideration, discussion, action on combined financials and claims under one action.
I think this is gonna be really quick. I move that we combine the financials and claims on our agenda to one action so that we can review both of them at the same time.
Another second.
Well, I think at one time that's the way it was.
That was always
It wasn't when I was.
Maybe just look at them together so it doesn't count.
It wasn't on when I was on the board, we had it separate, and then something was said that, oh no, you gotta do it separately. So,
I mean, because all of our questions are
Yeah.
usually.
yes,
We had
combined,
another-
which I had no issues with doing one thing. I just make sure we're.
So Heather
legally
seconded
together.
it.
Charlie, yes.
Change this. 9.5, consideration, discussion, action on Oklahoma Secretary of State correction on town filing status, domestic from profit business celebration to cities and towns.
I just need minutes, so we'll have to approve that we do want to change from the domestic profit to a city town. And I'll be able to do this kind of role. Get our little plaque. Eagle.
Just need a motion,
Or,
basically change it from.
Yeah, so I make a motion, we change with the Secretary of State our categorization from domestic or profit business corp to city and towns.
I have a question, what's the benefit to that?
It's just keeping us in compliance. So
Currently,
we
we're out of
went,
compliance with them.
there's no,
There's no-
and, well, but I think it
there's
was
no
because,
compliance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
but
what
it's
it
with
was.
the state, but I think it was, well, she said we just need minutes to change you from it to a, because we're still not considered a city or town with the Secretary of State.
I'm just curious what the benefit of messing with it is, like, when transferring to a city and town, does that do something for us being registered in the
So
city and town? with
it
them?
just puts us in their system.
Okay.
And because right now we're showing like we're expired, like we're not,
I got you,
we're not
we're almost
on the map.
non-existent of
And
sorts.
that was one of the things I looked at every other
Puts us-
town there, and it's
Yeah.
only $25 a year. You get a
Right.
plaque that you put in your office and.
Right. I was just curious as to what, if that had any play on anything really at all.
Well, and it's pretty neat, I'm getting the copies, but some of the original documents, I may be able to get my hands on them, I'd love to frame it. And so that's kind of the process.
I will second the motion.
Sean again.
James, yes. Consideration, number 9.6, consideration discussion action on Halloween celebration plans.
So I've had quite a few residents come and want to know if we're going to do anything, and I'd really like to try and get started on it. Some people did ask about doing a hayride, and that's why I needed to get some information and contact someone I can call and ask, or, if it's a no, I need to get someone that I can tell them. It's not just us saying no. I'm hoping we can, but I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I really would like to see a little bit more prepping and trying to get, more people out involved. So they did bring me some stuff, and once I figure out insurance, we'll kind of start trying to move forward and get on it now.
Well,
So-
the library is already planning some stuff. So our library meeting was on the 30th. We talked about what we wanted to do for end of summer and fall stuff. And we were kind of aiming for the approach that we did last year, where we kind of combined Fall Fest and Halloween together. And to aim for the Saturday before Halloween, because Chandler will likely have their walk around on Halloween since it's on the weekend.
I want to get more proactive concerning now.
Right.
Definitely combine. I mean, we want to do the same thing, but I just want to get people together.
So are people wanting to have the town put on a hayride ride?
Like, well, whatever, just doing
Okay.
something. I mean, whatever, however it works out.
Because I mean, if they're doing it themselves, it wouldn't have anything to do with our insurance.
Well, but they're wanting it to be something. that
But yeah,
it's
it's
a town.
Yeah.
Or the library is town. But I don't know, it's just something I was asking.
How would that work if it's a town thing to have
I don't know.
volunteers? Yeah. Okay.
I
I'm
don't,
just
I
curious.
really, I've never been, I've always done the, what do you need, I do it.
I would also talk with the Church Alliance, because they always do their little trunk or treat thing.
So we can get it going now, we can be a little more prepared and have.
So are you guys, would you guys plan like a festival kind of a thing?
It'll
or-
be kind of like it was last year. I don't know what we're gonna call it, probably Fall Fest like we did last year, but we handed out candy, we had like arts and crafts for the kids in the park, we decorated for Halloween. So it was kind of a mix of both, and we wanted, so the library board decided that they did not want to have like a big end of summer bash, and they wanted to take the money that normally goes to that and put it into Fall Fest, and maybe getting some like inflatables for the kids to come out and play on and that kind of stuff. But they want me to get together something to put in the send outs for next month, about getting like donations.
So you think about it, October 17th, it's 2 Saturdays, you think it's Saturday right?
It's Saturday right before Halloween. So it was discussed, I haven't gotten to putting the minutes from the library board together yet, just because it was, back to back with our, summer program starting, but I'm working on it, it's just slow.
I think if you guys would, like I said, just talk, you know, the library board talk with us, and maybe get with the churches, and kinda try to make it where it's the same weekend, or the same Saturday, that way we're on the same page.
Yeah, you don't want one of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You got redundancies too.
Right. We can discuss with them and get them involved as well,
Yeah.
and see what they've got going.
Maybe
and-
we'll groups together, we'll actually get
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
We feel like if the insurance, I know that was something that they were really, I mean, just have contact, so I can see what they suggest or.
Any more on that? Nine point seven, consider discussion action on procedure to explain to the board and the town as to why there is a need to cancel a town meeting.
So, got a lot of calls from the, why did it get canceled, and I didn't have an answer, and I just felt like maybe it would help to tell why, no lack of form, paperwork wasn't ready, we just need, I feel like we need to follow up a little bit more, be a little more specific, because a lot of, that's just what.
Well, send that on the text messages out to you guys.
I would have
Cancel
to-
it because of the date. Do this one.
I would have to check it and see.
Just being transparent with the town and let us know what's going on.
Also, the mayor's gonna want to meet something later, like everybody can tell them what's canceled.
Yeah, then that way everybody in town has the mayor's phone number, and then.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give you the link.
Yeah.
So far,
Not in the last couple. Just meeting canceled, we'll let you know when she's back. It's not saying, I think it would be nice to be a little more transparent.
yeah, I mean,
as to
courtesy
why.
wise, but I mean, legality wise,
Well, we have to post notice if the meeting's canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, just, I think,
I posted on the board, on Facebook, and everything.
Yeah, the Open Meeting Records Act, you have to post notice of cancellation as soon as you know about it.
Well, as a board member, I didn't know it was canceled, so I just got to go.
Yeah. Because we have the date wrong on that.
yeah. Yeah, as soon as I got it.
But you had told me to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. As soon as I got that, I said, we can't have a date, we don't have a date, the date
The
wrong.
date's wrong.
Yep, so I canceled, told her to send the text out. She did what I was, told her to do, so. But I think on some, most of that stuff, if it's, no form or whatever, I know we should just put that in text or whatever. Okay, 9.8, consider discussion action on Heather Eagles' FOIA letter update.
Do we have any updates?
I think I have 4 or 5 more things, and Tom is completely done, but some of them are legality issues, like I can't request, like phone log records and stuff like that, there's like, that's what's happening with one.
So I'm confused though, now that you're a board member, don't you have access to all of that?
They need.
Yeah, you do.
I finally.
Just walk in and ask.
And like I said, most of it, she can't request Kim's phone log stuff, like her stuff on.
So they did talk about that in the OML training, texting. And I don't know how to do that.
Personal email?
Yes.
No, it was,
Yes.
meetings, basically in text, all board members and employees and all of that.
Get a search warrant.
Well, but I mean, it's, oh no, it's part
It
of the
doesn't
record,
matter.
if you have everybody in a text message, that's a part of
But
the
there's a
record.
procedure they have to go through in order to get that, it's called a search warrant.
Yeah.
That means a legal
So
department.
they didn't talk about that.
Yeah, a legal department has
Especially
to.
if it's a former employee.
Yep, that,
Well,
OML
I
has
guess
to,
we should-
OML has to see the
Almost
violation.
3 years,
Yeah.
but we just
Should we
gotta.
refer to our legal counsel since he's sitting there looking
Well,
like he wants to say something?
No,
Well,
it-
it's also
it-
in
How to
as
fall
well, a
backwards.
copy of the things that they give us, and some of that too is that, she has to be more more specific on, like, she can't just tell me, like, between these 2 years, I want all of the records, she has to be more
But
specific.
everybody knows what it is I'm asking for, I think that's kind of the snotty things are said personally about me, it's been 3 years ago, it has not been addressed, and you can't just not answer it for you.
So the only, it goes back to the question that we had about the email addresses and whatnot. So anytime board member, town employee, whatever, is using a personal cellular device, but they're discussing town business,
With all 5 board members.
that
Yeah.
becomes public, but not all of their personal use of their personal device is.
Right.
And that's the one reason why we always usually tell people, look, you get into a really hairy situation here because you are waiving some of your privacy for your own thing because you're using it for here, unless you have a devoted, this is the work one and this is my personal one, so you get there. However, then the other problem that you have is, as you said, once that person is no longer working here and they're not here, you haven't kept them. So, this is, I mean, you're just a member of the, if the public comes in here and says, hey, I want to get those things while they're here, cool, but once that person leaves, we no longer have access. We can't force her to go give us access to her phone.
But it's not just gonna be that one person, it's all 5 and all the employees and it's all, but I mean, the date of, when you ignore something for 3 years, oh darn.
No, I understand. So I'm just, so it's, but we're, again, so we are gonna be a little bit hamstrung. I mean, what Jimmy's saying is not wrong either, is we can't turn around and say, hey, Kim, I need this. We have no way to force her to
But
give
it's not
me
just
access.
him that would have access to that information.
And that's, so if we have stuff that we have access to, then yeah, I don't disagree. If we have those things that are there, but it's all gonna be about the specifics. I mean, I've gone through, I know, I mean, without beating the dead horse, we've gone through the list and all the things, and I've addressed and said, here's, if we have it, then these are the ones she's entitled to, this was the categories of the ones that she wasn't. If we have them, great.
It's just-
So then, and so, you know, I don't know, so I mean, I hear her saying she's still got some, she's got some more work on, there's still some there, so it's a matter of, but I also think that what the other point was made is like, in theory, now that you're on the board, in all reality, you probably have as much access to be able to just go in and say, okay, here, I need to go see those things too, but they exist.
But,
So that, I mean, that means that you do have that right to go get it.
I mean.
But the reality is,
if
it's
you
all
need to
what
do
is
that,
there,
I'll
what's
be more
available.
than happy to be in town hall and you can come in and be like, can I see this and that? I have no problem with that.
Well, I mean, would we even have a record of something like that? If we have phone records, we don't have access to that.
but, you know, it's not just one person that was in the big march, and it was 3 years ago, I get it, we just need to, whatever, just need to get it done, like I still have my, lots of unaddressed
I think
issues.
most of the board members back then are no longer board members.
Right.
So getting their phones is gonna be like a 14, like I said, do it, get a judge's order, done.
Statute limitations on that?
Yeah, there is. It's been almost 3 years that it's been.
And I would use the word ignore very loosely, because somebody was ignoring requests.
It's 3 years.
And nobody was ignoring requests. There was legal things that was having to be researched. It was said that in the last 3 years of meetings, things were being researched. We were going along with our legal counsel.
I think that was a big part of the problem.
And I'm with you.
I mean, you can't trust those town lawyers for anything.
Yeah, I'd just like to see it final be done.
9.9, consider discussion action on town limits discrepancy.
So, did you have any documents from the
I
board?
did not. I sent the bill back to the election, people about it with everything going on. I didn't have a chance to pull that up.
Well, we have a lot of people that are, I mean, I was a perfect scenario until I found out, I was told we were out of town limits, and then after almost a year,
Your house.
yeah, that we are in, whenever we bought the house.
Oh.
I'm just, there's a lot of people that are like, I'm not even sure, and I'm like, well, and things that were said, no
You
documentation.
take the east fence of Lagoon and go straight north,
Yeah,
That's the city.
I feel like we have a lot of people that were told they were and they
Yeah.
weren't, and
Thompson Road.
I don't wanna just say go off of what the county says,
Yeah.
if there's something different, than what, I don't know all that.
Who were they talking to that told them that they were out of?
Well, like, for me, I mean, I don't know the other people said, you know, but for me, it was the person that sold my house. And so I don't know how that, it's just something that's kind of,
He was
It's on the back
he was
shelf.
out in the town limits, you wouldn't be sitting.
yeah, no, I'm not aware now, but I'm saying, and when I first moved here, we were told we were not in town limits, and so.
These
We
fits,
just need to figure out if what we say as a town
Yeah.
says what the county says.
What do we go off of to say as a town?
well, there's.
Documentation is what I'm.
Who would have the documentation as to what we go off as a town?
County assessor.
County assessor.
Okay, so then,
So it would be.
Yeah.
And then like a little.
So there's a map, they have a
Yes,
map.
that's the,
because that came from the election
Yeah.
commission,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Different, that's gonna be a different map than what you get from this county
So
assessors.
it's harder to see much more.
Yeah.
it is a little bit different, and so
Yeah.
this,
Because
I feel
that's-
like this is
that's
correct, but I
precinct
just,
6.
yes.
Five, I thought.
It's probably well considered.
Or six,
Six, that's what I thought, I was like, chairman, for a while. But that should be the precinct 6 voting area. So, but yeah, if you take the east fence of the west lagoon, the east of lagoon, there's a fence line that runs on the east side, and take it straight north to Thompson Road and straight south.
Well, right behind
Yeah,
Jenna,
well,
it's
five
not
hours.
counted, if that's out of town limits.
Yeah, if you look at the, there's a cut in for
There's
the
like a
property
little
behind
two-
us.
little two property,
With- not McCutcheon,
2-005,
who is it? Is it McCutcheon?
3-1.
Yeah. Look at me knowing names.
Yeah, so,
Hutchins property.
I think they're
Now,
cut out.
the only way that is if they went in and said, have one be in this house.
Yeah.
Then they have to, but that's for.
Is there a place where ice and fix overs? Right. All of them.
I want to do it
Back
36
there.
years.
See, I got it in here right, so he's got it, flex
Yeah.
on it here.
But yeah, if it was fix over stuff back there, it probably was.
Yeah, back then.
it's just things that were said,
Yeah.
that
So then what is the discrepancy?
I was wanting to make sure there was nothing different than the town had.
I think there's-
Because
at
there's
one time-
words being said that was no documentation.
At one time, there was a sign. First, I'll say your name. What do you call it? What's your name?
Walnut.
Walnut, if you went a half mile, there was a sign, used to be a
I
sign
think
there.
there still is out there.
That said, try and see limits.
I don't know, get that bridge figured out, I'm not gonna try it.
Yeah, so it was west of the bridge.
Well, and I did think that bridge was just right in it, that it was out.
But there was a sign there, that had try and see limits.
I haven't been down there.
Yeah.
I think it's-
As a matter of fact, there was one out, if you went west, there was one there too, but it's gone too, so.
One to the west is still there.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, half a mile,
If you search Tryon, Oklahoma on Google Maps, it shows exactly where the
is it half mile?
town limits are.
It's half mile in it, east of Oklahoma Street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except for the
different
jog,
color.
about a half mile jog out up there.
It's half mile from Oklahoma Street either way. And then get to Thompson Road, the north side of the road is not ours, but the south side is ours, half a mile. We always had to respond to calls out to the west there, the house sits on the south side of the road there, we always had to. Okay, 9.10, consideration discussion or action on Heather accessing town hall shared file for June 2nd, 2026 meeting.
And I put that in there because I want to put a date that I still owe to publish.
Okay.
I still don't have access to that.
Have you, what happens when you try to log in?
It says that it's timed out, it's in screenshots.
That the request is printed out? Because I've sent 3 total now.
No, I need to
And your
maybe
email
send
address.
my new email or.
To
is
the
that- I don't-
H
I'm not-
equals with the town.
Yeah, I don't have access.
Yeah, you do.
I
Just
mean,
log in.
I have, never, I don't, I have my town email.
Right,
So
and-
that's where I would like it to be sent, is when that's the email I gave her.
Okay, So this is not as far as, we're not gonna email it to you, it's like 78 megs, it's way too big for that. But as far as sharing access outside of our town domain,
Well, that's fine, I just have no idea what to do, where to go, how to do it, and I sent you screenshots where it said it timed out, and I don't know what else to do.
log in with that email, that username and password.
I tried, and it takes me, I just have to sit down, it takes me to a timed out, it won't let me do it, it's too much time passed.
Okay.
So you guys need to get together?
Yes.
You two probably need to get together.
Yeah, because I mean, you have access to it. I've shared the folder for all the meeting videos with all of us.
Well, I've never,
Well, you've never logged into it.
I can't, that's what I'm trying to say, we're just going in a loop. I've tried, and it takes me to like,
So-
I can't go
So
nowhere.
you two need to probably sit down,
Yeah.
if she comes up on Monday or whatever.
Just go to mail.google.com and log in with it, and then you should see an invite link.
I can't log in, I can't even begin to log in because it's timing me out.
If it's timing you out, then that's not an issue with workspaces. That's an issue with the internet.
Well, no, it's because I missed the invitation.
Okay.
I don't know, that's what I'm assuming. I got an invitation, and then by the time I went to do it, it timed out, so I'm
Well,
logged.
the invitation was sent to h=townoftryon.com. That account has never been logged into.
I'm aware.
So you couldn't have followed an invitation link to that meeting video folder because that was only sent to
Well,
the
you
email
sent me a
address.
text or something, and I clicked that to get going on it, and then it said it's been timed out. And that was the screenshot I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, that just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I can do it, I'm not gonna do it right here, but I can show you what, I mean, that's why I said I took screenshots to tell you the steps that I took and that didn't happen.
Okay.
So yeah, you two just need to get together.
Thank you.
Get that work done. Okay, 9.11, consideration discussion action on new building grand opening ceremony plans.
We had some, I haven't put this on time, but we didn't have something, but we're kind of, maybe it's more of a priority to wait until we actually see light at the end of the tunnel, and the building starts getting done.
I started doing plans, because we're gonna have to have time to move in, and then do some kind of grand opening, like a month, maybe after the move in, I'd like to see.
And then we also,
I'd like to see that.
we don't put that into the budget, so how are we gonna do that?
That's a good question. But until we even know when we can even move in, it's kind of a good question at that point.
I would just like to see the town have some kind of ceremony that everybody decided to.
We can cut the ribbon, all that once we can figure out what they.
ODL said that if I let them know when the library's going to be open, they would help us out on the library side, but I don't know if that applies to the town side, I don't know, so. But the library, ODL said that they would help with the grand opening for the library or whatever, if that was something.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll work, we'll all get together. Okay, 9.12, consideration discussion action on communication expectation between employers and the board. Board members all have the same updates of being replaced in the loop.
So I've not received an email since the second of last month. The only kind of any communication I got from town hall was when you texted me last night. So that's kind of a problem.
From the previous meeting, we're feeling one you gave.
Right,
Information on this
I
meeting.
thought
Discussing executive session.
I thought what we discussed was that you were gonna email her, but you were gonna copy me on it.
Yeah, I've not
You know, my
received.
understanding was sending stuff to you and you were gonna be okay. That's what my understanding was, when we were talking about.
Confused me.
Yeah, I've not received any.
They were trying to get contacts.
I thought that I was just going to be kind of a witness
That's what I understood.
for, I didn't get the email versus some of the stuff you said was unprofessional. I thought that was the purpose of being.
I requested no contacts, and when we talked, we were gonna do that for 90 days, and reevaluate and see where we were with them. So to me, no contact is no contact. And that's what we talked about using.
I still need to get information from you.
That's why we talked about Jenna being the middleman of referring those emails and texts to you.
I'm pretty sure it was an email.
Well, that's why there's no contact, because that was my understanding.
And I don't know, I'm
Because I had assumed that they were going to her and I was being copied on them. My only concern with that is I don't check that email address every day. I only check it a couple times a week, so if there's something pressing,
Well, every time I send a board member an email, I send a text out, check your emails. Please understand that everybody's busy. And like, I don't check my emails every day either, my personal emails. So I know that sending a text out, being like, hey, check your email, see your emails if I need to reply back about something. So if I send an email out, I also send a text.
we might need to revisit this then.
Because I've not gotten any.
Because it was never my intention to be a liaison and emailing what you said to her and emailing what she said to you and back and forth and all of that.
I don't get any information other than.
I think you've said that like 6 times now.
Well, I'm not gonna, okay, I don't
So,
get,
Mr.
my
Attorney?
information I get, and I finish my sentence, is the group, the town.gov, that's how I get my information.
Right. So it was my understanding that Jim, you had said, you know, you still need to email her, but just copy me on it in the June 2nd meeting. But I understand that is kind of a moot point at this point because we can argue over what we said or didn't say forever.
Well, I'll just say, I don't think, given what we're discussing, I mean, it's not feasible to say, well, we're gonna have, as I said, there's no feasible way to say we're gonna have 0 contact. I mean, this doesn't work that way, because then there's no communication. My recollection and what we were contemplating was to minimize the personal, like the interaction, communications, texting, face to face, so that there's not opportunities for she said, I'm just gonna, take what we have here. So there's a liaison to kind of monitor, let's see how those things are going to minimize that. But I think the email is gonna be fairly broad and objective, but going to other people that can be done, and it probably needs to be done, because we're gonna have communication, somehow the board needs to know. And then if that involves, though, if there's an email communication that needs to be sent from the town offices to her, then if nobody else is getting it, then yeah, then having the person who was going to be the intermediary also be involved, just so that, again, there's somebody aware of what's going on, so that we don't have a recurrence of this is what was said, this is so somebody knows. Try to get that off the high center. That was kind of what I understood would be contemplated. And I think that sounds feasible and viable in the circumstances, I think.
You don't appear happy with that. Is that something you want to try for? Okay. In an executive session, you're asking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I feel like it was discussed, I don't know exactly how much I can give you, tell them what we discussed in executive session, since it was mine, but there's not one person that's at this table that does not know how our relationship has been. I have tried my best to stay professional and keep them separate. And I've had other issues with other board members that I've been able to stay professional. We've talked
person.
interrupting.
Like, you're saying that you
See,
sent it out
right
to the
here.
board and
One-
you did.
one at a
You
time.
sent it out to four,
One at a time.
not five. There's five of us.
You really hate it when people interrupt you.
Because that's what she said. I sent it out to the board, that's not true. I don't get them now.
Because of my understanding of the last meeting, which I've already stated, this right here, the petition, and this is what it's like dealing with a 12-year-old child, and there's no.
Okay,
So what we're
okay,
gonna- what we're gonna do
all
at
right,
this point-
so go ahead and, so keep doing it the way we're doing it until the next meeting.
Next
I will
meeting.
forward anything on I see. If it's something that is time sensitive, please send it to her and copy me on it. That way, she's not held back from knowing things of upcoming meetings or things like that, just because I haven't checked my email yet. So, and, send me a text to my Google Voice if you do send an email that needs to be forwarded to her. And then we can talk about it in executive session next time.
Next meeting.
Or I can send it to you. If that's,
Fine.
if
I'm
that's,
not
if
getting
that's
it.
what it takes, then
I don't know how to, I feel like I'm not on the board.
Would that be a solution too? Is there
No,
anything that you send to us board members that another employee shouldn't see?
No, because I touch him if I send something to
For the most part, it's a fairly cohesive unit, so if that's what it takes, then I'm fine with that.
Okay, so from this point,
Done
you're
deal.
gonna be the contact
You got it.
between Heather.
That'll work.
And copy me on it, please.
Yes.
But no more than 2 board members can get on an email, just remember that.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
9.13, consider discussion action on procedure expectations to remove items off the agenda between regular meetings.
So this is me, I'm a little confused. So perfect situation, 9/11.
We skipped that one, didn't we?
No, I'm
Oh,
saying,
okay.
I'm saying,
No,
like,
sure.
whenever something, so like, this isn't gonna be on, probably won't be on next month's agenda. Who is responsible for making sure that that doesn't fall through the cracks, that we do
So-
something and that we just keep
So
those?
what happens is like 9/11,
Yeah.
when we get more of an idea when that's gonna happen, we put that back on the agenda.
And so who's responsible for doing that?
We are.
Like, I know, but like, we have to be in communication and we're
Like-
supposed
like
to
if
talk
I-
in the board meeting, so like how?
If I have something that I have actively on my list of things to work on, when it comes time to go on the meeting, I consider it my responsibility to make sure it's on the Google Doc.
Just in general, I mean, the agenda is good for one meeting only. So, I mean, the official record is, I think we alluded to this last time too. If this comes up and somebody says, we're gonna take action, we need a motion, we're gonna second, we're gonna go vote, if it's approved, it's been addressed, and so that's it. And so, but
Unless it's specifically moved to.
unless
table
it's
it.
tabled or it's no action,
Then it has to.
and then it's kind of an inaction. Well, not necessarily, because if it's still not, like, let's say between now and the next meeting, if it becomes a moot point, it wouldn't have to even show back up. We didn't take it, nothing happened. There's no explanation. But then that's where all 5 board members have the ability to say, I want this on the agenda. So if you feel like we need to revisit the grand opening ceremonies, well, then you're gonna suggest that gets put on the agenda for next month.
I guess what I'm saying is like how
It'd be,
do we get the information to be able to know? Because I'm.
so, like on the grand opening,
Yeah.
once we figure out, hey, grand opening's gonna be in October 15th or whatever.
But we would need to send something, right?
Yes. But I'm saying that once we find out at one of these meetings, hey, the grand opening is gonna be such and such.
Well, no, the building's gonna be open for us to move into on this date.
Next day.
And then we would, at the
Yes.
next meeting, then say, okay, so then when we wanna have the grand opening.
Grand opening, then we put that back on the agenda. You'll just have to keep notes for yourself. If you put something on the agenda and we, like the
our
Halloween
labor-
party.
Like our labor
Same as,
department.
when it gets closer where everyone meets up and like, okay, we got a plan, actually got a plan, then we put that back on the agenda.
So I know my whiteboard at home in my
But
office.
if it's submitted, I mean, like, so, in theory, 3 of you could put the same thing and go send it, and say, I want this on the agenda, got it, it's already there, because so-and-so got it, first come, first served, got it, or whatever. But that's how you just leave it there.
Can I send a Google Docs out to everybody that has their, like they put their
Proposed
initials
agenda.
next to it and so they
Yeah.
know.
So, but basically, if we table something or whatever, then it's up to the board member that put it on there to make sure when we get time. If it's getting closer to something like the Halloween party or something like that, it gets back to the agenda. We should have had a meeting back in June about the fireworks, but that wasn't put on here.
Yep.
I guess it'd be ideal to have like a yearly forecast, something. I mean, obviously, the grand opening can be a one and done, but.
Yeah. So that's how that works. So, but having it on here a month, it just kind of wastes.
No, that, I agree. I
Type,
just,
ink, and paper. Okay. 9.14 is raised discussion action on proper procedure for canceling meetings.
not one, it's just. I guess, Eric, we did that.
Yeah. 9.15 is raised discussion action of the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget.
I move that we submit the 2026-2027 fiscal budget that we came up with in our last meeting to the state.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. 9.16 is raised discussion action on library board questions. 9.16.1, who is on the board? 9.16.2, when were they appointed? 9.16.3, who appointed them? 9.16.4, posting notices of meeting and agendas.
So this is mine. When we were talking about the budget thing, one of the questions we kept kind of coming up with was, we don't even know who's on the board.
Do you want names?
Yeah, yeah.
So Keely from the church here, I don't know if you guys know her, she moved out of town at some point, but Keely, Carolyn Tapscott, I am on the board,
Check in with that.
Amanda Johnson, and Carol, yeah, I can't remember her last name, it starts with an H. I'll pull up her.
Okay.
They were appointed, I want to say at the end of 2023. We didn't know that we had to have a board until we were doing like annual funding stuff, and then we had to develop a board because before Amanda and I came in, there was no librarian, so we didn't know that there was supposed to be a board, whatever. So it was end of 2023 that they were appointed. I don't remember how it was back then because I was the assistant, so I didn't necessarily have to be at the meetings. But the way that they are intended to be appointed is the library board and or the library director picks out people who are like attached.
That's not what the ordinance says.
I'm telling you what was on OPO website. That's what I read. It was they pick out the board and then they submit it to the town board for like approval essentially.
Okay, yeah.
So that they make recommendations and then the town board
Yep.
agrees or disagrees.
No, you're right. I misunderstood what you were saying at first.
So yeah, it's just recommendations. It's not like we pick the board. It's just
Right.
hey, these are the people we think would fit the best because they're at the library the most. They know what's going on, and then we submit it to the board, which would be like I think the end of this year should be its 3 terms, so it should be the end of this year.
5 years, I thought. It said in the ordinance.
I don't know if it's 5 years or 3 years. I think OBL said 3, so I'll double check to make sure that it's
Okay.
right. But and then
And then do you guys post notice of your meetings or?
Yes, we do.
Where do you post them?
At the library. ODL is 24 hours, I think is what it says. I don't know if you guys want me to do it further in advance. We typically know when we're going to have a meeting, like 1 to 2 weeks out. And then we post it at the library. I intend to post them also on the website and on the Facebook page. I just haven't gotten to it yet because everything is,
Okay.
and we only meet quarterly.
Yeah, I know
So we meet
that.
once every 3 months, and we kind of cover like everything that we. So the next meeting will be like finances, kind of a loose budget for hey, we got our finances from like last year. What else do we need this like? What is the rest of our spending budget look like until we get our new budget?
I also noticed in the ordinance that the library is supposed to present the budget to the board by the 31st of July.
Which makes no
But
sense.
I was gonna ask, cause don't you not do your
We don't do our
budget until August?
Yes, so ours.
So then is that
due
something
August
we
15th.
need to change in the ordinance? Okay.
Probably. Yeah, ours is due August 15th, so we don't really sit down and do it until at the end of July, maybe.
Yeah.
If
I
summer
didn't think that
program
made
is so much.
sense.
But usually it is beginning of August, once summer program is ended, that we pick up annual report, budgeting, that kind of stuff.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys can post notice of the meetings and the agendas like Brittney does with the town.
That's
So-
why I post them, and I wanna do more posting, because I don't get it out everywhere.
Right.
And I'd like to do it further in advance, the week before, and it goes into the library.
And I don't know if we should wait till after we get the new building for it or not, because there's so much room in that little house right now. So, I mean, but going forward, I'd like to see.
Yes, yeah. And then I believe that everyone on the board is pretty much who are pretty involved with the library in general. I believe off the top of my head that I know one of the board members is not going to rerun this year, so we're going to probably have to go at least one.
Okay.
But right now it's not in my peripheral. I'm not going to.
Okay. Excellent.
All questions answered.
That's everything I wanted to know.
Number 10, consideration discussion action on possible Founder's Day committee.
This is mine. I would really, really like to see a Founder's Day kind of a thing come up, and I'm gonna tie this back to the Fall Festival. Because when you guys were talking about that, I thought that might be kind of an idea. Where I come from, you know, rural Nebraska, they always had, you know, the Town Day celebration. I mean, obviously, they started with the parade, but whatever. But then they had like a town cleanup day in the morning, and in the afternoon they had a park. At the park they had some stalls for people, craft fair, farmers market kind of stuff. There was I remember one year there was one of the Taekwondo academies came out and did a demonstration at the park, and I know we have some people in town that did martial arts. I remember Brad Smith used to do a car show. I really would like to maybe create a committee that we designate the head of, and then they can go and find people to help and find fundraising and all of that stuff, and then scheduling and all that, and then they can kind of keep us in the loop as to what's going on with it. And if we turn it to like an annual fall festival, that'd be pretty cool.
It's kind of funny because I had a woman actually contact me today about a fish fry.
Yeah.
For the town of Tryon. So.
We used to have a Founder's Day parade, because I remember when I was a kid,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
we
been
had-
a long
we had a
time.
parade.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think if we start this back up, we're gonna get to parade level right away, but yeah, we can do it. I mean, high school, you know, Perkins, Tryon High School has a band, I'm sure. They probably also have student boosters that would, you know, fundraising booths and things there, you know.
Well, we have the space with the new town hall building and the surrounding park area. It's centrally located. It's not a bad idea.
I know the director, or I believe it, I think it's still Ken, at the Perkins, like the Perkins band director, I used to study under him, so if I need to talk to him, I can.
Yeah, so, like I said, I just think that I would like to see us form a committee where we appoint the chairperson and,
get people in town involved.
yeah, start trying to bring start trying to get some pride back. So I guess at that point then I would move that we create a committee for our annual town celebration, and we put out notice asking for applications for chairperson to be in charge of fundraising and organization.
James, yes. Number 11, consideration discussion action on Department of Labor training.
That will be on there, so, yep.
Is that the OSHA stuff you emailed us? So
Speaking of,
so you forwarded us that email, but I don't know, there was nothing in the body of it. Are you guys wanting to go to that as employees? Or are you
Well,
trying to
we
say
need-
that board members should go to that?
We need to go to that. Like, that's
Okay.
one of the labor departments said that it's not just one department, it's all of us.
All three of you guys?
Yes. Yep.
How about the library too?
Yeah, she's on.
So all four need to go to that training? Okay.
They offered two separate ones, and I don't remember the dates on it, but one of them was OSHA 10, and then they offered 3 for municipal employees. OSHA 30 was another one, and I think think there's a couple other ones on the list, I don't remember the list off the top of my head, but they're sending us emails all the time about it.
Good, do it.
DEMONSTRANCE. Who's all had DEMONSTRANCE?
I don't know what DEMONSTRANCE is, so. Exactly.
Well, it's
I've
basically.
got my OSHA 30 helmet.
Yeah, so it's training that all board members have to take, that used to take, have to take. I know we all had to do it when I was on the board before. It's like NIMS 100, the basic one.
What about the Beaver?
Yeah. So if you could go online and do it,
What is it?
it's basically for disasters and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So you go to FEMA's website.
Yeah,
And
okay.
you go, has a login, get your,
National Incident Management
Yep.
System. Okay.
We just had a VP on this, VP put it on and
I think you have to have the basics, one, two. Yeah, there's a list of classes that you have to take as a board member.
Oh, no, online training.
Yeah.
Not like I have.
Luckily for me, I'm done. Because I have a bachelor's degree in emergency management, so.
Okay.
No, it's free. Like I said, you just have to go to the FEMA website, take the classes, but you gotta figure out what classes you gotta have.
Yeah.
and does that thing, I can't remember how we did it. It was hard. I don't have it pretty hard. Does the NIMS expire? It's long, that
Just
is
one and done. Yeah. And especially when you gotta sit through several classes, because like I said, there's 3 or 4 classes that you also have to take.
Are they like live classes to join, or is it just a recording,
Just,
watch this training video?
Just watch this training video.
Okay. I haven't had to do that in a year and a half.
On the FEMA website. But you'll have to get see what classes you guys have. Consideration discussion, or number 12, consideration discussion action on REAP update.
Everything's been turned into the REAP for the last disbursement, like the loan paperwork. We were supposed to get it gathered up and get this last week, but, once again, there's sicknesses in the office and we didn't come back. And I've called and emailed Patricia several times, but she hasn't come back with me, so I'm calling her like every other day until we get that done.
Good. So once we pay, so the plan is then that this year, then what, October, whatever, we get the final check and we would use that to pay off the loan, right?
Well, we will apply for REAP in October when it opens. That one will going to be put towards whatever's left
On the loan.
on the loan, yes.
Okay. So then next year, October, we would be able to apply for a REAP grant for something else? or something else?
And there's 2 separate REAPs, and we can talk about that, we totally sent you. But ORW has a REAP grant as well, and you can apply for both at the same time. These are for different parties.
13, consideration discussion action on building project update.
They have got, she rocked in there, they've got the decking done. We went through and we picked out the carpet, the flooring, the paint, the trim and the walls. We picked up the doors, the faucets, all the pictures. He's getting back with me about the cabinets. We picked up the sinks. I think there's only like 3 or 4 different things I have to pick out. Everything's been picked and it's all in. Next week, that'd be good.
No. See, we need, you know, the split
We're
wall
also
kind of
starting to
decoration?
action ourselves, so also.
We got the accent walls, we need to get like OSU orange on one side and like OU maroon on the other. And then we could have then we could have like beanbag fights, you know, between.
Let's call it 75% off. You know,
Flying Husker it for everything.
And if you can stay at least in the 70 to 80%.
That's where I'm at.
Construction, I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta be somewhere.
Yeah, you're doing all right. Yeah, there's a
Steady
lot.
on update.
Yeah, and we, one thing I do wanna say, I know this is on the, it's on number 15, but I have grant money that I have to spend, and some of it is for the building. The items that I have to buy is over $500, so we really need to think about raising that. I know
Okay, let's do 14 real quick. Consideration discussion on action on starting up abatements.
Should this be on the utility side?
No, because I do them. On my side, I've had several people get a hold of us, especially a couple houses on the south side. They're regretting about the tall grass, part of the other yard. There's a couple of people that they have those mixes came out of, some of the yards, this grass is so tall or whatever. And, there's only so much I can hold on until they're screaming at or maybe get out and the neighbors, or clean up.
Yeah.
There's a couple there.
Yeah.
I mean, your grass kitten, gates always one thing, but we're right.
I mean, yeah, because last week our yard was really tall, but we had a week and a half of rain.
So the issue I
That's where
have,
mine was too.
so the issue I have with abatements is our properties.
That's what I didn't know if I could.
That's, I mean, we're gonna tell people, hey, keep your lawns taken care of, we can make sure
Yeah,
our stuff.
you can't-
So what stuff of ours is not?
Well, I don't know, just make sure.
The park.
I get it completely. You can't keep your side of the street, and I can't complain about your side of the
Right.
street.
So what all
That makes
needs?
you kind of two-faced.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like
And
that.
that's why I'm holding off, because I said that before, like, I don't feel right doing that when our stuff is not.
But now we got someone hired, the big guy hired.
So what do we need to do before we can send these out? Because what over the past year I've sat here, we've talked about this several times, and every time it's like, well, we can't because we don't have our stuff done. Well, we can't because we don't have our stuff done. At what point do we just say, you know what, we're also working on ours? We need to tell people that they need to work on theirs too.
Well,
So
we
what
do-
all do we need?
We need to get, like, I understand the rain and the weather that we've had, but the entire park has to be mowed, the ball fields have to be mowed, it has to be weeded. Like the ditches, the right of way, town hall, utility shop, inside the utility shop.
I can tell you that that Walnut or 780 is coming eastbound, trying to cross North Oklahoma. You can't even see to the road, right? But
There's ones like, the Starlings, the house can't even be seen from there.
Yeah.
And then the yellow one.
so I guess
First.
what do we?
It's disappearing.
So what do we need to do before we start the abatements process?
I think so.
Just the
That's
park?
The park. We probably need to clean up everything, because part of it is that we have to make sure we have some weeds, because we know, like, there's still weeds as long as don't even or whatever, like, we've got to trim the park and stuff as well. So we're just gonna clean them up.
Right. So let's what else besides the park?
The park, ball field, town hall, farm, right away is also on 105.
Okay.
The lift station on North Oklahoma and all the other stop signs.
Okay.
If somebody,
So can we set one? Because one of the things that I liked, I pushed to try to get Spencer hired was because here we have a town clerk who can go do things too. Should we set aside one day of a week where he's also hopping on a mower?
You can. I mean, I have absolutely no problem with that, but you have to realize if we do that, then we're suffering on the other end of things, because we're still in trouble. Think about the utility department inside the office, the grass is just as tall as it is outside, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, but you've come a long way on getting that cleaned up already.
Okay?
We just gotta make sure it's not close to a meeting.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what you want, then we can set aside a day to go out and do that, that's fine.
Just until we get them caught up.
Could somebody donate their time, and if so,
Absolutely.
how old could they be?
I will have
Like
to
a
check on that.
teenager who's in trouble by chance?
Nope,
Not in
just
trouble?
hunters, like,
I will have to check on that, because the last time I checked on something along those lines, other than community service, you have to be 18 and supervised. So I would have to double check on that, but
Well, I mean, is it technically volunteering community service at that point, or court order is the only one that applies to?
well, it's because it's court ordered, it's all they've already like published,
I
like
got you.
doing whatever. There's still liability, just like we can have the signs at the park, like play your own risk. We can get in trouble.
So I know some communities, and this comes back to what you were saying with the youth helping out. I know that you sometimes clean up, mow and stuff like that.
Or just high schools with their community service classes and things.
Right.
Hunter loves to brush hog, and I just figured.
And the park, that's what the park needs. I know we have an issue with the brush hog that we have tried to find a welder to fix something.
Jesus Christ.
We'll talk about that until we.
Well, they could also, in theory, call the county and have us put on the list of approved community service options as well. Because I guarantee if you go to the courthouse and say, I'm looking to do community service, they have a list of people that you know what I mean?
Right, so then we're going to, until we get caught up, have Spencer try to spend 1 day a week helping Joe get them caught up, and then,
Whoever you got to.
yeah, on volunteer stuff.
What about the church, what about the girls' home? They go around and they do anything? Cause I know they.
I don't think they'll let them.
Don't know about that.
I don't know, cause I mean, I've seen them, like, when Dick Smith was alive, they went up and did some stuff for Dick.
We can talk to Tony.
So, first though, we need to figure out if volunteers can do it in the first
Yeah.
place. And yeah, I think anybody can.
Nothing else in addition, if you just show up and it's already mowed.
I mean, I'd be happy to volunteer if he gets me a new zero turn radius mower.
I got him, Robert.
I would think since we
The zero
get
turn.
a call on the county for everything else, basically make them to approve mowers in and knock stuff down with them.
Well, I know Travis from Lower WA, I was talking to him last night. And he
Because
was
they've got
telling
the
me-
ones that,
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually come to shut the weekends.
Yeah, he was saying that the lagoons, which is a big part of the mowing.
they could swarm it and do it in one day.
Yeah, which, I mean, he was saying that that the county will come down
This
and
county
go.
commissioner, I don't know. Well, he might want money, I don't know, even though we're in his district. Okay.
Anyways.
It's a thought.
Yeah, just look at options, yeah. Okay, 15, consideration discussion action on spending limit raised. It's what, how much now?
Probably, price.
Well, that'd be on, that'd be on the.
Yeah,
agenda.
that's utility
This
side.
is
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Three risers, and it's $500, you know.
So that's the utility side.
We're not there
I'm
yet.
sorry.
It's okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah. I'm ready to talk.
We're not there yet, buddy, but we're almost there.
Is the TSAT stuff the only thing that's blocked, that you're being blocked on?
Yeah, as of right now, because even when we get the refunding, then we're gonna, they're not getting that automatically. So it's gonna be held anyways until the board has more ground.
Okay. I would say, since we're having QuickBook problem again, let's leave it where it's at, but I would be very happy to make a motion to allow our employees to spend grant money appropriately until the time comes when we can lift it back up. If
I'm like,
anybody- if
are we
anybody
still
wants
talking
to-
and I miss it? Yeah, I second that.
James, yes. 16 new business. Any new business? Nope. Okay, 17. Gentlemen.
Adjourn.
I'll second it.
Heather, yes.
James, yes.
Looking on the prayer.
Okay. Town of Tryon Board of Trustees Utility Meeting, July 7th, 2026. Time is 7:40 p.m. First Baptist Church, 122 North First Street, Tryon, Oklahoma. Agenda, number 1, call to order. Number 2, roll call.
Jenny here.
Sean here.
Heather here.
James here. 3, consideration action on consent agenda. Approval of the minutes for June 2nd, 2026, June 9th, 2026, June 16th, 2026, June 25th, 2026.
I move that we table the minutes for March 10th, April 7th, and May 5th, 2026. to give board members a chance to review it more thoroughly.
Wait, what?
Second.
Second one.
Because all I have on,
Are you looking at a different meeting?
am I looking at the minutes instead of the agenda? I don't know where our agenda is, so.
You're looking at June
Yeah,
second.
you're looking at the minutes. The agenda, we've got June 2nd, 9/16.
Well.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where the March thing came in. I was like, March.
Oh, my God, oh, my goodness.
I was like,
Nothing like showing off my hair color on camera. Right, I move that we table the minutes from June 2nd, June 9th, June 16th, and June 25th of 2026 in order to give board members a chance to review it more thoroughly.
Second.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. 3.2, approval of monthly department head reports.
I just want to by the next meeting, the next regular meeting, I will have Joe's testing schedule and all that stuff set up.
Need a motion to approve.
Move we approve the utility department head report for June of 2026.
Second.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. 3.3, approval of monthly financial reports, May 2026.
Do we not have these either?
Same thing.
So then I move we table the monthly financial reports and the monthly plans for May of 2026 until our next regular scheduled meeting.
Yeah, I got the claims done, but of course they're no good without a financial report to back them, so.
We,
Second.
Heather seconds.
Sean,
James, yes.
The non-vendor combine those on your side.
I'm assuming if you combine it in one, we can combine the other, right?
No, we
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, so next month we'll have.
Yeah, next month we'll have that.
Okay.
We'll have consent.
Yeah. Let's see, 4, consideration of items removed from the consent agenda. 5, public appearances, petitions, commitments, communications, and personal appearances. No one talking.
Got nothing.
Yeah. Number 6, proposal of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Tryon entering into an executive session in accordance with Title 25, Section 307, subsection B-1, discussing the employment, hiring, appointment, promotions, demotions, disciplinary or resignation of any individual, salary, public officials, or employee. 6.1, Spencer Strait, 90-day evaluation, due July 20th. 1.2, Joseph Jones, 90-day evaluations, due July 6th. Need a motion to enter an executive session?
I move we enter into executive session.
Heather, yes.
Sean, yes.
James, yes.
Is your name spelled with a C? How do I keep getting that wrong?
He says because you're a loser.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I'm not,
I
I'm not
just
the one,
figured-
I'm not the one sitting there drinking water.
You're always close.
You need to watch some of our shows with us. You don't just accept it.
Can I just keep my husband in line out there? Keep my husband in line out there?
Okay.
Up there, so be-
Number 7.
Yeah, we gotta start our camera. And I think you got that backwards stuff. It's actually his job that keeps me in line.
Oh, well.
What was it the other day that he didn't realize was coming to our house via Amazon is somebody got a new Nerf gun. He was not impressed.
Going. Okay, number 7, re-enter regular meeting from the executive session. Need a motion to re-enter from executive session.
I move we re-enter into regular meeting from executive session.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. 8, consideration, discussion, action on matters discussed in executive session. 6.1, Spencer Strait, 90-day evaluation. 6.12, Joseph Jones, 90-day evaluation. Basically, we just got with them, see how everything was going, kind of what some of our expectations were, what we're looking for as a board, like on meter readings, office stuff, and stuff like that.
Make sure it's still on. Did you bring the spare battery?
At least it was polite.
It says goodbye on it. That's great.
Maybe the battery is out.
Yeah, so.
I have a lucky battery. Is it fully charged? Runs on. Should run through.
I blame Spencer.
I will absolutely take the blame for that.
You got broad shoulders.
That's exactly right. That's, you know, that's how that works.
That's pretty sad when you want that behind your ear, I just heard it.
Well, there's that noise, and I kept hearing the doorbell, so I'm like, waiting for someone to walk around the corner.
I've been annoyed through the whole
Okay.
meeting. It's like,
Alright, so again, for the record, I move that we return into regular meeting from executive session.
I'll stay.
Sean, yes.
Heather, yes.
James, yes. Take 2. Consideration, discussion, action on the matters discussed in executive session. 6.1.1, Spencer Strait, 90-day evaluation. 6.1.2, Joseph Jones, 90-day evaluation. We basically just said what we expected out of the 2, asked to make sure everything's going fine with them within their 90 days. Everything looks good on both parties. Like I said, there's some things that we need done at certain times, and hopefully get them getting done. So, other than that,
I asked Joe to leave his phone in the office Thursday morning, Spencer, and I can come in and we can take a look at it.
okay. Anything else? That's it. Okay. 9, miscellaneous. 9.1, consideration, discussion, action on spending limit raised.
Was there anything that you are limited to purchasing right now with the $500 spending limit?
Absolutely. So, let me give you a good example. Okay, so we have a individual in town that has decided to put a ungodly large mobile home in a small piece of land right up next to a pond. I hope it doesn't flood. However, there was some stuff needed for that job. So, like a roll of the 100-foot, you get it into the 100-foot poly, you can't go, I only need 15 feet of that. That's not how that works. We needed 2 new meters. We needed a riser. We needed a 20-foot stick of the corrugated pipe for the boxes, and then a lid. Okay, that's for one job. Okay, all of that stuff combined, you're looking at over $1,200. So the way I did it was I ordered just the riser, the poly, and the lid.
You broke it apart to be.
Yeah, I broke it apart within 2 or 3 business days. But that feels a little shady to me because you're still spending the same amount of money. You're finding a workaround on it. But if we could raise it to say 1,000, that would be a lot easier for us because you have to realize it's when you order stuff like this. For example, a new meter, just one new meter, you're looking at $150. So if we have to have 3 new meters, you're already approaching that $500. That's not including the risers that are almost $250 a piece per meter situation. And as we're doing and getting the meter readings on time and getting the office in order on our end of it, now we're figuring out, oh, this is what's actually bad out here. Because if we weren't getting good meter readings for who knows how long, there's no telling how many other meters that are likely to fail in the same amount of time. And as we're upgrading to these new meters systematically, eventually, every one of these meters has an antenna that can go on top, that we eventually can have somebody just drive around as the operator and he clock all the readings.
I would be willing to bet that most of that can probably even be read from the town hall itself, as small as we are.
Well, I mean, yeah,
But,
however,
If he comes in case.
I think, like, if you buy cases, that should be what Mike was on.
of the antennas.
No, the meters.
Here's the what now?
Because a case is made, is what you're doing. 8 meters.
Oh, 8
And
meters,
they're like,
okay.
they're actually like 170 a piece.
yeah, 100, I think, yeah, 155, 177.
So, why don't we do this next month, put on the agenda to buy 8.
Right, I mean, I have no problem with that.
We know we're gonna use them.
Absolutely. And the meter, I'm just using, and I'm using that as an example of, just as we start to get an idea of what inventory we have, in order to, I'd like to have, 2 or 3 of everything that we could potentially need on a job, then we just have it. And then the job is done, completed, off the books and done. But in order to build your inventory, you have to go about spending, because, I mean, you get 2 or 3 things from UTS and you're over $500.
I get it, but it's hard to approve higher spending limits when we can't see what we spent the month before.
Right, and I get that. The lack of the financials at this particular point, I understand that completely. If you guys, if we keep it at the 500, that's fine. And that's completely understandable. But if we run into a situation, what is the protocol for an emergency situation? Like, what if, lo and behold, something springs a leak to a point where we don't have what we need to fix it and we need it right then and there? Do we just have to get mayoral approval? Do we have to do we call a special meeting that, happens that night? Because, I mean, you've seen what happens when we have to shut the water off for X amount of hours because we don't have what we need. UTS isn't gonna rush it to us. You know what I mean? And that's just where I'm at with the spending limit.
Are you asking just to kind of vent a little bit, or are you actually wanting an answer?
We actually really need that answer.
Okay. So if that would happen, if there was an emergency and we need to buy things and it's above the spending limit, then you would have an emergency meeting.
Okay.
But I mean, that happens even if we raise it to 1,000. From what you're saying with the prices, it wouldn't take very long to get over that anyway if there's an emergency.
But next month, what I'd like to see on the agenda is 1 or 2 boxes of meters that we know we're gonna have put on the agenda. That way we could approve those next month.
Yep.
And you guys have them.
Yep.
Or just the pipe.
Create your purchase order.
Yeah, no, I get it. Get an
Whatever.
estimate
Yeah.
from Mike at UTS is what we need, and then we bring that into the approval. Okay.
Don't forget about the role of the quality is gonna last a while.
Well, but you're gonna have to have different sizes. You're gonna have to have 1 inch, you're gonna have to have 1/4 inch.
I need some 2 inch.
Probably ½ inch, just because. And if not, I'm sure somehow it'll magically appear in the ground.
Yeah, so-
Or 2 inch, and then when somebody might just bring
So-
2 inch up to your.
So next month, like I said, just give us
Just
some meters.
like
I'm not saying get everything all at once, but like I said, you get 2 cases of.
Right, I got you.
meters, and
Okay.
Get them approved and get them ordered, so. Okay.
And then if we want to get it back up to 1,000, let's get those finances done.
I hear you.
I wish I had a copy for it.
I know,
Yeah.
I know it's not on you guys, but I do.
Yeah, why was not you done? Okay, 9.2, consideration discussion and action on current software update.
I sent you some of those templates. Did those get completed and then emailed to them?
We're in the process of getting the last finishing touches on them, and we'll have to be done by then.
Okay, so I will have the next few ready for you by the end of the week.
Okay.
So, I think we only need 2 more for them to start building. What they're gonna do is they're gonna build a test system for us to look at, basically a dummy account. And then we can go in there, we can look at the software, we can see, we can actually set it up with one of the computers that the library has for people to come in if they wanna see if there's like a resident portal, things like that too, to be able to look at, so.
9.3, consideration discussion action on the water testing plan.
Just what we talked about, that I'll have her set up her
Set up. Okay.
Just work on getting it back in order.
Just, like I said before, on the phone calls we had, don't worry so much about making it perfect when it never comes off your plate. So.
I'm just giving it down like it's
Yep.
9.4, consideration discussion action on the Midco diving proposal update.
We talked about it a month or two ago. He still, for some reason, I talked to him on the phone, he did update one of the things that you're wanting was a proposal that had the update on there, so he sent that to me then. There's some information in there, more detail of like what it's covered, what they'll do or whatever. But he did not put it in writing what our conversation was to sit back over like the year and a half and span, like we agreed to now the lock in the price, and then we have like up to a year and a half to choose a date of when it needs to be done, and then we don't pay until after. I think I actually seen on there somewhere. That you have 2 years after it's completed to pay for it, but the second part of what you're requesting is not on here. This is the updated version. You guys also requested documentation from him stating that they'll agree to this, sign it, turn it in, and agree to it, that we have up to a year and a half to pick a start date, and then there's also the 6-month span of when we have to actually get it completed after that, right? And then we don't pay for it. That's
Yeah,
what
because this
we're for, right?
specifically says this proposal is valid for 30 days from receipt.
Yeah, so I just have to get the other part of the documentation, but I still wanted to. But he said that's the updated proposal, for updated date. I'll put that right on.
Okay.
So if it's for next meeting, though, that'll pass in 30 days, all right?
Yeah, and I'll have one.
Is there any reason why we can't just approve this now?
You guys just had a question last time of putting in the schedule agreement and not like documented.
What's paying for it?
No, but as to when they start time, as to when, okay. Okay.
We
That's
can
the question, what
we can get a
they-
grant
Yeah.
to pay for this as well.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at,
Yeah, so
because
Grant will pay for it.
that number,
Yeah.
But that's what he said, the bid is only good for 30 days because, you know, things are coming up or whatever. But he said that if you agree on this price is locked in, well, even if price goes up, but.
All we need is just that in an email that we can staple to it. So,
he's chomping at the bit.
you deal with a lot more this stuff than I do. Do you see anything in?
I left it on my app and read it.
Okay. Is that it? Uh, 9.5, consideration discussion and action on utility laptop or computer.
Did you order that battery?
Yes.
Okay, so the utility has a laptop. They currently, the second it's unplugged from power, it shuts off. The screen is cracked. So in order to do this, though, and instead of getting a whole new laptop, which I would love to do, I had them get there's a $35 battery from Amazon, which I can swap out. And then we can get a mouse keyboard combo from Walmart, average Logi for $50, and we can get a house brand Amazon monitor for $100, and have the whole thing done and
So-
usable for $200 as opposed to like $1,200 for a new laptop.
So I actually have a monitor at my house.
Okay.
It's in my garage.
Okay.
It's sitting in a box. So, I mean,
What size is it?
Not that big.
Is it? But it's also not that neat, is it?
No, it's
Okay.
It's
Okay. Just making sure, you know.
How big is that one?
Yeah.
But it's, the boxes is don't pack them. The box might be that big, I don't know, it's just sitting in a box. It was given to me, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, as long as it's got an HDMI out on it, you just want to send me a picture of the box and I can look all that stuff up.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing about it.
Yes.
It's
And
just
then,
this big.
It's
yeah.
just this big, that's all I have.
And then that way we can have it set up. It'll still have to be permanently plugged in. It'll still need to be at the office, but at least then you can have something to type, to answer an email, looking for bits or whatever.
If you can figure out how to back it, I have an entire tower in the house.
You don't tell me these things, Nathan.
No, it wound up with like 9 million processes at once.
Ooh, that thing's got a virus.
Yeah. My screen don't have
It
nothing.
starts up and maxes out everything.
Yep, it's got viruses. Good luck with that.
That's why it's sitting in my garage.
My screen's
Okay.
So, 9.6, consideration, discussion, action on core construction invoice update.
It's more or less just, for construction update. I'm gonna give them an update on the little house.
So they obviously had some issues yesterday. We talked to Steve, and he was supposed to call us with the scheduling, and we talked to his office person 2 or 3 times, and well, Steve's gonna get back to you. And it's like, okay, and then they called us yesterday about 9:30ish, and no, hey, we're coming into town, we'll be in town in 10 minutes, and we're like, whoa, wait a minute, okay, all right, so cool. They show up here, they don't have any of the stuff they need, so they're waiting on parts till lunch. Then they go to lunch, and then they finally crack into it at 1:30. And then, of course, I'm sure everybody's apprised of all the goings on from that point. They were having spacer issues, they kept trying to get the spacer off, and they're sitting there trying to, with their wedges and hammers, for every 20 hits, they're getting about a 1/16 of an inch of this thing off. And they're fighting with it, I said, well, can you guys cap it? They're like, oh, yeah. Well, they fought with it some more, and finally they ended up having to weld bolts onto the tops of the ones that they had cut off in order to put a cap onto it. Then we finally get the water cut back on, water's flowing again, and then it's leaking underneath the concrete part of it, which was part of it anyway for them to cut that out. So today they did an emergency 1 call, and then they showed up, dug it out, and put a shutoff valve there now between the well house and the rest of the town. So now any repairs that have to be done on that well house, we can just kill the water to it, but everything else remains
Good.
and still has everything going on.
That's
Now,
a familiar conversation.
yeah, isn't it? And so I guess they're gonna do that for us as a town at no charge, and that really has nothing to do with their invoice per se. Now, I have not seen what the amended invoice is gonna look like, but I'm sure with what they've run into, that there's likely to be some, oh, well, we had to do this, and we're gonna add this to it.
Well,
or,
there should be an amended invoice, because when we signed that invoice, when the invoice was approved and signed and turned in, that was what we were getting charged
I
with.
get that, but I'm just saying,
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
And that's the invoice update I have, and they're supposed to be coming back, they said tomorrow, could be the next day, to finish out what they're doing in the well house, to do the actual repair they were hired to do.
But we're done shutting off the water.
We're done
Yeah,
shutting the
water.
water off,
Okay,
the water
so
will
when
not
can
be
we,
shut off.
when can we start drinking the water
We
out
won't
of
know
tap?
until we
We
get our back.
we don't know that.
And the back
We
test,
just-
T-test comes back
Possibly Wednesday.
possibly tomorrow?
They have to, both
Okay.
samples have to be
If,
approved.
what happens when we get the back T-test back? What are they looking for? Just the amount of bacteria in the water?
Absolutely.
How,
So-
if it comes back with too much, how long does that take to?
Until
So
we
you
get
get
a clear
two
one.
more samples, and
Until we
after-
submit a clear one in there, what, 12 hours apart?
But we went and flushed the outer parts of town and bring in all the fresher water.
Yeah, down the pipe.
And then,
Out,
yeah,
out,
chlorine,
and we all
chlorinated
took tests
water.
of every hydrant that we got to make sure it was at the safe level.
And you think that'll help?
Yeah, what you're doing is when you open up the valves on each side, or different parts of town like that, just you're flushing the system. That's what they're doing, they're flushing the pipe.
So basically, when the water drops below 25 PSI in that line,
Right.
then the dirt will start, if there's any leaks or anything, that it can.
It
it'll
starts
rust,
settling and all
water
that.
and settling.
Crap.
And
The
so,
outside's
the deal with the boil advisory is, me and Travis took a back T-test that night right at midnight, so that it would count for that particular day. And then we took another one this morning and sent them both off at the same time, and they both have been delivered to Accurate. If Accurate comes back and says, okay, you're good, then boil advisory is lifted tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
We're basically we're basically having to deal with Accurate as fast as they test it, that's as fast as we go.
Can we send out a Facebook update or something on it? Just let people know we're waiting on the test back. You know, as far as that way people know that we're working on it and everything.
Yeah.
So,
So in the morning, he wanted me to go and check a few of the places where we took samples this morning, and take samples in the places to make sure that those organisms
Yeah.
just was up in response.
Okay, sounds good.
and then you know me, I would say call Accurate every other day and be super polite.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to check to see if this is done yet.
Usually pretty fast.
Yeah, Brittney's gonna be there tomorrow anyway, so.
Oh, well, really just be a.
Okay, 9.7, consideration discussion action on rate increase.
this is a really hard conversation to have after we've had to shut off the water for 2 days.
I know, but, part of why we had to shut the water off for 2 days, or for the half day, there was 8 hours it was shut off, is because we had to get something fixed. Well, the more we fix things, the better off we are, but in order to fix things, we have to have money. So, I'm in front of the opposite says Tryon, okay, those are our current rates. I have Kearney, I have Meeker, and I have Perkins. Now, I've tried to get in touch with Wellston and Chandler as well, but they weren't quite as cooperative as the others. And if you compare them, you'll see that we're pretty close to what everybody else is, other than if you look at somewhere like Meeker, they're at 34.42, we're at 23. Now, I put the other ones in front of you so that you can get a comparison of what everybody else is charging. Like, for example, Perkins outside of city limits, and they just raised theirs this year. I went down to the Perkins City Hall and got this information from them, and I had an older one that they're increasing their rates in July. But on ours, it actually is written 5% increase each year in July. When's the last time that 5% increase happened?
23 years ago.
You know what I mean? So technically, by all rights, we have in writing per policy that we can increase it by 5% each year.
So my first question, do we have any residents that live out of town, like city limits, that use our water?
No.
Okay, so that's, no. We only have a few commercial places, right?
Right, the commercial thing is just, I literally brought this one in, and these two are more smaller towns, Kearney and Meeker.
Okay.
The Perkins one is just, that was the closest
No,
larger
I get it,
municipality.
yeah, I get it.
Just for data and frame of reference.
Yep.
With our rates, it's not that, and I
So we don't
understand-
charge a corporate rate, right? We just
No,
have, okay.
No, because we don't, Tim's would be the only one we would charge.
We got Tim's, we got Matt's, we got, I don't know, is Greenman city limits?
No.
No?
So we have two, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no corporate rate. However, with an increase even at 5%, I understand that income is an issue. We have a lot of residents that are on fixed income, that the dollars are very tight. But in the grand scheme of things, what's $5 extra on your bill if your billing is right? If we get it down on our end to where the meter reads are right, the consumption is correct, we're not getting, bills where somebody had 10,000 gallons used this month, but every other month for the last 4 years they've used 2,500 gallons. That's where all the crazy bills come from, and where people don't trust the town and the billing processes. So by increasing the rates, it's just everybody across the board is doing rate increases. I'm not saying just because everybody jumps off a bridge we should too, but also with the increased cost of stuff like lagoon maintenance, the aerators, the weirs, all that stuff and everything involved with all of the maintenance cost of our water system going up, it's a matter of we're going to end up in a situation where we're not bringing in enough to even maintain the system that we have.
And Oregon Council Authority has done a water rate study, and we're $16 below where we should be to be able to function and keep our.
And I talked to him about that this morning. We had a short conversation about it, and he made a valid point. He said, listen, it's a difficult thing to do to compare yourself to other municipalities and towns around you, because every town has separate, different individual needs. And in our case, we have a lot of bad lines, and I understand we're working on grant money to get that and to make that happen. But at the same time, in the long term of maintenance of things, everything's just going to keep going up. You know what I mean? It's not like all of a sudden we're going to go, you know what, we're going to stop increasing the cost of pipe. You know what I mean? It's going to keep going up. And in my opinion, I think that we're setting ourselves up for a not great situation by not going with the curve of literally everybody else.
Okay, so here's my thought on it.
Okay.
How many of these other towns have to turn their water off at least once a month to all their residents?
I agree with you. I
So
agree.
that's one of the reasons I hesitate. One of the things you can ask my husband that when I first moved down here, I was almost done with the fact that it seemed like at least once a week our water was getting shut off.
That's one thing I hate.
Can I please finish? I really appreciate that we've gotten a lot better with it. However, I don't think that our water standards, our water service is up to the same level as some of these other towns to try to match what they're doing. So my question would be, if we're gonna raise the rates on the residents, what can we do to offer them a better value on something of the town? You know, if it's gonna be a little more expensive to live here, what can we do to make the town a little bit better for them to live here?
Okay, so are you saying, like, what can we do for them as far as from the utility department? What can we do for them because we're increasing their rates? Or are you saying, what can the town side do for them because we're increasing their rates?
Well, we're in the utility meeting, so we have to
Okay.
talk utility stuff.
So,
But-
at that point, I mean, what can
But
we do
here,
for
okay,
them?
Spencer, I appreciate it, but I'd love to hear from some of my colleagues.
Okay.
If we are gonna be fixing things, it's gonna take money. Even if we get a grant, we have to have
10%.
Okay, the 10 or 15. I mean,
Or
that's
8,
gonna have to
8,
come somewhere, so we're at a rock hard spot. We have to raise money to be able to fix things, and we're never gonna be able to fix it.
Town is fixing things.
And hopefully the goal is to not have our water turn off.
Right, and then the next time we have an issue, we won't have to shut the whole.
So,
Well, that was a good, but y'all were able to put that out there.
That money's going to make
So-
That money's gonna go to help make sure that, as you stated, other communities provide better meter, they don't shut it off. But I'll just say it, what do they pay their utility workers?
But our bills could also,
They also have a Sonic, they have other municipalities, they have a lot more revenue coming in. But again, it's still, if I'm a resident of this town and I want my water to stay running and efficient, I need to know that this guy's happy with what he's doing and he's making a living doing it. We had all those issues when those contractors came in to set on fiber. Because why? Because past people didn't know where the water lines were. Nobody, from what I was told, correct me if I'm wrong, nobody went and marked anything, really to say, this is where it was, so they just blew through it.
And that's kind of all accumulates because, we didn't have a water operator, our maps are out of date, we were short-staffed, we didn't have even a clerk. You know, I was literally doing,
Trust me, I'm not.
No,
Oh,
I'm
I
just
know what
saying
you know from me.
that's
I'm
all,
not-
money
yeah.
is affecting all of that. We don't have money to hire the extra people. Everything is being affected by money. Whether it's fixing stuff, if we have the extra income coming in, we can keep up with these repairs. We can keep up with our infrastructure. We can keep up with the water tower cleaning, the maintenance on the well house. We'll be able to pay for mapping to be done to the town. All that stuff will help the community because it might take a year or two to get to a better place. But once we're there and is able to maintain it, that's what the town is going to benefit from. Then that money can go to other things. We can buy better equipment or better shop or, you know, a better utility truck or something. Then we're going to be able to utilize it, function properly, hire good work and function properly and buy other things that's not a need. It's like we're constantly struggling just to keep that 2 steps ahead. And every time we think we're a couple steps ahead, an emergency happens and we're 10 steps back. We're not getting forward.
Oh, no.
We're
in
gonna,
hindsight-
this is a business, like
in
Mr.
hindsight,
said.
really, could we maybe not have the problems we're having if the set had raised like it should have been? And I mean.
so what are we looking to raise it to?
Well, I mean, without changing anything, Jim, at 5%. I mean, that's what's in writing right here would be the 5%, and it's each year in July. And I'm not suggesting raising it at this particular moment. I'm merely bringing it to you guys' attention that this is something that other towns and municipalities have done in order to maintain their infrastructure. By not doing so, we can continue on the way we are, and the water has, like I moved here 3 years ago, the water was cut off a lot more than, but it's getting cut off a lot less often.
It really is.
Okay,
absolutely.
so because it's being cut off a lot less often, therefore, here's the adverse. We can slightly raise our rates, potentially, and I emphasize the word potentially, in order to improve the infrastructure and put in more cutoff valves and actually map where they are. And we know with or without, if Joe were to, God forbid, have a heart attack, we have another utility operator, then we would know where all of that stuff is to shut off sections of town. And that's a whole lot better than the entire town. You know, but we can't do anything like that. Like, I understand that grants are great and all, but I would like to see a point where we're not reliant 1,000% on grant money all the time. Like, and I get that there's another item on here we'll get to in a second that kind of segues into that. However, increasing them is not, I mean, you're talking about like $5. I mean, I'm not talking about increasing the water rate by, 80, 90%. We're charging $23 for the first 1,000.
I would suggest calling Travis and asking him to bring his rate study back to the board. Because when it was brought to the board, it was an old board first, and they just automatically shut it down, was really close-minded about everything. He will be able to have the numbers in front of you, the facts, will be able to tell, like, we might be able to do 3% now, or 2%, or whatever, like how to ease into it, to where we can still raise it for this year, but then when it comes back around to next July, we can be on track where we're supposed to, and it's not a big hit all at one time.
Yeah, let's do that for next month.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 5%, that's off of the $23.10, correct?
Yeah.
So it's $1.50.
Or I thought it was 5% for everything. What now?
Okay, so,
But we've got the tiers. Like all the tiers would go up 5%?
yes,
Yeah.
okay. But if you're just the average Joe, how much does an average person run?
So if for the minimum bill, if you're running under, let's say you got 999 gallons, and with your sewer and your trash together, or sewer and water together, if you have standard $25 trash, $72.61 a month, that's the minimum bill. Now, if you don't have trash, $47.61.
Well, like I said, I don't have sewer, so.
Right, but if you
But
have sewer.
But I also have a dumpster, so.
But if you have
That's why I was
sewer-
asking, for the general, are we talking?
The standard average bill, if I had to take a stab at what the general average is, between 87 and 110. Depending
So
on.
we're probably somewhere in that, what, 2,000 gallons
Yeah,
a
but
month?
the majority of people, a good rule of thumb is if you however many people you have in your house, add 1,000 gallons. So like in my house, there's 5 of us, and there's 3 girls there, we use like 5,500, 6,000 gallons, something like that.
Okay.
I literally was not a teenagers yet.
Well, I wanted the clarity because I too, was like, okay, so each one of these is going at 5%.
Now, depends on which one you have, the 2-yard and 4-yard. The 2-yard 60, they're 25 and then $2 for the extra. So if you've got, so if you have 2 poly carts, it's 35. If you have 1, it's 25.
So you said $5. If I increase everything by 5%, I'm looking at about $1.90 increase.
Okay, well, see, I didn't run the 5% math on it. I was using that as like, it's that small of a number.
So,
You know what I mean?
The
It's
bottom
not-
line is this: we operate a business.
Yep.
Parts go up, gas goes up, everything goes up. And this is where we become the bad guys, because we have to raise rates. When there's no getting around it. And why they haven't done it since 2023, I have no idea. But that's part of our job, is to make sure that we maintain, and we're able to maintain the equipment and lines and stuff.
And let's keep in mind too, that this budget had a $20,000 deficit that we covered with the back debt.
Right.
That as soon as that's caught up, we're not gonna have that $20,000 next year to cover. So, I mean, I know we have to do something. I just wanna make sure that whatever we do, there's an equal raise in value for people in the town. In not necessarily
They might not
monetarily
be able to
value,
stay
but
for a
just
few months.
in living.
Some of them's not gonna see it at all.
Cost of living.
Well, they're just gonna see the cost, but I mean,
Yeah.
no offense, but I mean, we all pay property tax.
Yeah.
It goes up 3% every year,
Oh, yeah.
whether we like it or not.
That's the cost of the water.
Especially out on the property in Payne County.
And
I
to
think if
answer,
we just notified them that this was implemented back when, and has not been, and that we have to put it in place in order to continue to function.
So, you know,
And explain to them that it's only gonna be this small. I mean, how many times has OG&E done it in the last 3 years? And it's been $5, $10 every time.
No, I get it, I do.
So, I mean,
I think
you know,
if
we're
we-
not even, it's a sneeze compared to what they're.
Let's get Travis in,
The rate study.
do his rate study.
If he can't make it, do you know enough about it to be able to present it?
Yeah, you can send it to you.
Okay.
You should be able to make it.
But I wanna make sure that we let the citizens know that, you know, if we do have to increase it, what we're doing.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
Yep.
we give them the full breakdown, that, you know, this has been in place, but it just hasn't been.
And what they're getting with the rate increase is they're getting both myself in the office, Joe in the field, at a much more readiness level than the
Right.
town has already been able to have.
Let's not advertise Spencer because we want people to.
I agree.
No, I get what you're saying, I do, and I'm not against it, I just wanna make sure that we're not just getting more money and not giving people anything for it.
Well, that's why I say you kind of lay it out, you know.
Yeah.
This has been in place, it hasn't been implemented for whatever reason. We're just putting it into action, but getting this benefit.
And maybe one thing too, that when we do get it scheduled with Travis, I'm gonna try to push to get him here, and then advertise on the community, that he's gonna be here, we're talking about raising the rates, so everybody can come and get it.
Yeah.
Travis can handle those questions.
Okay, so we will send him at the
But
table right between.
I know when I was on the board, I know when I was on the board in the past, we had to do it.
It sucks, but I mean.
Well, it wasn't as bad what we thought, because a lot of citizens understood that we had to do it because everything went up.
Yep.
It's just what it is.
Yeah, gotta keep up with the times.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Okay, 9.8, consideration discussion action on the fiscal year budget 2026-2027.
I move that we accept the fiscal year budget from 2026, 2027 for our utility side, as we had for the public hearing, and submit to the state.
Second.
Sean, yes.
James, yes. 9.9, consideration discussion action on equipment quotes and grants.
Okay, so I provided you guys with the recent quote that I have from CAT. I'm working on getting some other quotes. I've spoken with one of the board members here about getting me a quote from Bob Caddy, another gentleman. Where we're at with the equipment quotes and grants, we talked about getting started on a grant with this. And we've also talked about something with the Iowa tribe having some kind of involvement and helping us in that regard. Basically, this is on here more or less to both discuss with you guys and to bring up where we're at with all of the leaks that we have. All of the little leaks, the shovelable leaks, have all been taken care of by previous operators. The ones we have now are all ones that we need equipment to do. Now, could we get by with renting, on a Friday, working a weekend, and then returning it Monday morning? That is a viable option for, 1 or 2 leaks. But if we do that we've got on the board right now, better part of probably 10. Okay, and by the time we do that, we're between the renting of the equipment, the gas, the pulling, the bringing it back and forth. Well, it wouldn't be overtime, but we'd have to clip hours weekly. So if we're going to work the weekend, we wouldn't work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing. We would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or, you get what I'm saying. The thing with renting it is, I don't have an issue with that. I just look at it in the long term of that could really become a lot more money over time than what we're willing to take on. Now, I talked to Travis about it yesterday, about equipment, and he was telling me about grants, that there's one that's through them that's going to be opening up. I think he said it's a REAP grant that would not require now it's a very competitive grant, mind you, it would not require the in-kind money.
It's the very
It
grant.
is a REAP, that's a REAP grant, and it opened today.
It opened today, okay, well, last time he told me it was about to open or something to that effect. So I'm just kind of getting the ball rolling on where we're at with needing a piece of equipment.
So my question is, I know Travis has stopped in before and mentioned that he knows, they use excavator, blah, 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 for like $5,000. Can we get by with a used one instead of buying a brand new one for $60,000?
Yes. Absolutely we could. But I just know that the way it was presented to me was that with the amount of money that the town would have to put forward on something like that, at this particular moment, I don't think that we have the $5,000 just laying around for something like that.
We budgeted for new equipment.
I mean, if we could find something at that price, I mean, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean, $5,000 is excitingly low.
For that $5,000, what's gonna break real quick?
You're talking $20,000 in maintenance costs to get it to where we're able to use it in perpetuity.
Then you have no warranties.
There's a lot of give and take with that.
Have you gotten that quote from Bobcat yet? Okay, well, I made myself a note to get with
3.
3, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
three quotes.
I have
Who
two
would-
more.
Because
James,
keep in
who
mind
would be
too,
your
as,
other?
as far as that REIT grant goes, we would have to purchase
Who
it
else would you-
first, and then they would reimburse.
Yeah,
us.
I've got
So-
yeah.
More in the office.
Okay.
I think one was from,
But the way he was
I
wording
think
it,
that-
the one,
yeah.
he was speaking of one last night to me, and I'll
I've got,
verify
one
what
from
it was,
Kubota,
that it's,
and the other one
there's
I think is
nothing
gonna be
up front
Capcom.
for it. It's just handed to you as the county municipality.
So I
Yeah,
talked
I've
to
got
somebody
the cap
from,
one. Hey, Spencer, you gave me a cap.
Yeah,
didn't you?
mhm, that's the same
That's
one.
what I got at the house. That's
Yeah, it's the same one.
now sometimes these companies, you get used ones brought back.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
there is in this quote a lease option. It didn't really, because there's a lot of rules with the leases, like you can only put so many hours on them. There's a lot more involved.
not
You
to
know what I
mention
mean?
that accounting wise, a lease is considered as a negative mark as opposed to a positive mark with
Right.
depreciation and things.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing I have with the rental deal is, with my experience with Tryon, we had a plan to do 2 repairs. Fix the hydrant out there in Oklahoma and, what was that, Pecan? We really never got to finish what we were doing because one repair turned into 2 repairs on one project. And then by the time it was just all said and done, man hours
You run
and
out of
everything
time.
else, we just ran out, we plumb ran out of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, where that's a good idea to try to do multiple, is also the hell in a handbasket
Yep.
kind of a deal. But I will follow up with Bobcat tomorrow and make myself a note. I'll call Sean and make sure to get on about getting you that one.
Let's see.
Number 9.10 is it?
Yeah, I saw that 9.10. I was like, saw that one.
I even mentioned that at our last meeting.
9.11, consider discussion and action on utility grants.
I was gonna talk to you about the grant that you said, or the tribal health that you were gonna check into.
Yeah.
With the RIC grant, you have to fill it out online and upload all of your information. That's where the 2 equipment quotes that I have. The lady, I don't know, I can't remember, we did a RIC grant for the lift station out there that was 80/20, that we only had to come up with 20% of what that cost. The lady, when I talked to her on the phone, said that we would have to pay for it all up front and they would reimburse us
Reimburse you,
our
yeah.
80%. So.
That's what
I
she
needed-
told me too.
Yeah, I needed to get with you to see like what the tribe's plans was, like how we were going to
Yeah.
handle
like I
that,
said,
like,
I just had to get, they said they had tribal elections. I don't know if the people I talked to's
Yeah.
even there anymore, to be honest with you.
so as far as that, we did get the, quotes with equipment, I just didn't know how to move
Yeah.
forward with every grant.
Now, what's
like, are they
the
doing-
grant was he talking about?
That's the ORWA grant, the
Okay.
REIT grant that just opened up today.
Okay.
And that's just like the REIT grant that we got for a building, but they're from different departments, that's where we can, have them both open at the same time.
So what, are we gonna apply for that one?
If you guys approve to apply for it, we can.
So, I say apply for
I make a
any
motion to
grant,
apply
yeah.
for that.
Apply for
Yeah.
every grant we can get near.
Had a second.
So
Jenna,
Sean-
resoundingly
Sean made the
yes.
motion.
I mean, just because
Yes.
we get, just because
I
we
think
apply
it's-
for it too doesn't mean we have to spend it. Accept it and
I think
spend
you
it.
guys said at the same time.
So we'll get on that.
Now, then I'll get with Iowa Tribe and see if Terry's.
We just need to know how we need to go about doing that, because we'll need to see what their plans are, like if they're only gonna cover part of it or whatever, so we know what we have to
Yeah.
come up with before we can apply for
Okay.
that using their help.
And how about the grant for the water lines and stuff like that?
That's, can also be a RIC grant.
Okay.
The ORWA can also be, for infrastructure as well.
I really wanna try to get that one
And
going
I'm
for the water.
still trying to get hold of, Lori Johnson. She got a hold, we're kind of playing tag, but she has another option too, DEP, where we can, there's grant options.
Okay. Yeah, let's try and grant we can't for the new water lines and stuff like that.
Mhm. Speaking of raising value.
Yeah. 9.12, consider discussion action on adding Sean Sarr and Spencer Strait to the town bank accounts and CDs. Just need a motion.
I move that we add Sean Sarr and Spencer Strait to the town's bank accounts and CDs.
Heather, yes. Do we have to do that on the town side too?
That was on the town side. They'll be on the same bank account.
I just didn't know if we had to make it official.
And James is.
We can add it if we need to
Yeah, that's what.
They're on.
Where not Sean?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
9.13, consider discussion action on delinquent account policy and procedures and starting late fees back.
Okay, first of all, the last part, yes, please.
yeah.
We know that we had accurate meter readings last month.
We had this month too.
We know that we had accurate meter readings this month. So we don't have any situations where, well, we estimated, we don't really know for sure, and, so we're past that.
And that's why we were saying a while ago, it's important that we get those meters read in time so we know.
So this is what I was gonna say earlier, that we were gonna eventually talk about, that kind of segues back into the raising of the rates, is the delinquent policy and the late fees. There, we have a lot of people that pay late, okay, so there's the extra $20, that adds up pretty quickly, okay? However, the delinquent account policy and procedure, we have got so many, because I'm in a position now on my end of it, that we can start going after the delinquent accounts. But part of that, I wanted to pick your brain about it too. When we have some accounts that are, let's just use a number, round number, $1,000 delinquent. Okay, according to the current policy we have, is they can come in and make a payment arrangement if the utility clerk is willing to work with them, operating board willing to work with them, and they can spread it out over 2 months. Okay, but you're still paying your current upcoming bill as well. So if you spread that out over 2 $500 payments, okay, great, if they can come in and achieve both of those. But if you've gotten that far in the hole, it's kind of hard for me to think that you're going to be able to catch that up in 2 months. Okay, so the policy we have is 10 days late, you're subject to cutoff. According to the delinquency policy, trash cans removed for non-payment. You will not return service to your address until you are paid in full completely. And that's the way the policy currently stands. However, legally, because we have gone so long not coming after somebody for 15, 16 months, can we all of a sudden just flip that switch and now we're back to that policy? Are we legally allowed to do that?
I'll be honest, I don't like that policy.
Okay.
I don't like that 10 days and you're shut off. I really think there should, at 10 days, let's send a letter. 2 weeks, send a letter, 2 weeks, send a final notice, and then shut it off.
Okay.
Give them more than just, hey, it's been a week and a half.
Right.
Like my husband gets paid once a month, a week and a half might not even be enough to get somebody to their next paycheck.
Right. And I agree with you, absolutely. That's why I put it on here, was to discuss potentially changing that policy to make it something that's a little more reasonable in that sense, because I agree that 10 days is pretty drastic. But also, if you know that you had water flowing for 16 months, that's a pretty good amount of time to have come and paid a little something on it.
Yeah.
Because we have some that haven't paid us in a calendar year.
I know.
Not even, here's $5, here's $10, you know, like,
I know.
so.
It's just like OG&E, OG&E is like a little cheaper as well.
Yeah, but they will send you a couple notices
Yeah.
before they just flip the switch.
Then that's true, and you know, I don't like the idea of cutting people off, but I also don't like the idea of continuing on our end as a town, or as the utility department on our end, paying for all the maintenance, upkeep, all the chemicals and everything we have to do to keep that water above board. The idea is if you're using the water, then you're paying your share for, that's offsetting it. But if we have so many that aren't paying, I mean, you're talking over 60% of our accounts are in some level of delinquency over and above $350. 70%.
Okay.
The only thing I would suggest, I mean, the answer to your question is yes, you can. And as you kind of, look, anybody who, I get it, they might turn around and say, well, but you didn't, and then you let me get here, and but.
Town has leaks, there's all kinds of
Everybody
things.
knows, they knew they owed a bill, and they've dug a hole, they're not making a payment.
Right.
So they know that, and like you said, pay $20, do something.
Yeah, if you're coming and working it out with me, I'm willing to work with people on it. And there are a couple few that have
One
surprised.
option the board, you guys might want to look at too, though, because I remember I heard a reference to it, that this is just me spitballing, I handle it, but I mean, towns have warrant clearing or whatever. I mean, you could turn around and say, okay, starting new fiscal year, August 1, we're going to start everybody, if you've got an old account, a debt, that's there, you got to get that worked out. We're improving our water system, we're doing this, we've got meters, we've got, these things taken care of. We're going to start here, here's your current bill. Now, make a payment arrangement to pay off your old bill, but from this point here, be current and try to limit, so they can work off the old, and if there's some kind of a forgiveness thing that says, hey, you get something worked out with us, you're not gonna get cut off as long as you're paying your current, but you keep making your payments on your old, but we're not erasing it, we're not forgiving it.
I see, I don't hate that.
There's creative options to get around.
OG&E will let you go 6 months out, but you're still required to pay your, your $500 plus your
If
current.
they miss one,
Then that's what
that
happens.
can.
Right, exactly.
So, and that's basically why I put it on here, is to discuss what you guys think as far as procedural changes or policy changes to where we can draw something up like that in some sort of writing. Because if I have somebody come in and make a payment arrangement, currently, like I said, it sits in 2 months. And we need something different if we're gonna be able to stretch it out for the 6 months for somebody. But my thing is, like, I was kind of more or less, I got what I wanted, was, the legal factor on it. Because if somebody all of a sudden doesn't pay after the payment arrangement, well, does that person's name go on a list of sources? Don't give them payment arrangements again, because you get a loan from the bank, you don't make your payment, the bank's not gonna loan you any more money, right?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
I was telling you, take, they have to pay their current month
Right.
in full every month.
Yep.
Their past due divided by 6.
Yeah.
If they miss even one payment, they are cut off and they have to pay the full amount in full up to date, plus the reconnection fee to be reactivated.
Now, if we get a new paper set up or a new agreement for people that's gonna be on a payment arrangement, if we make a form and we send it out to the board's like, yeah, we agree to this is fine. Is that something that paper has to be, like approved at a board meeting before we can send it out? Like on payment arrangements, more or less stating that? Is that something that has to be adopted?
No, I don't think so. I think that you can, if it reads the way it does, you can work out a payment arrangement. They just need to understand, again, we're gonna be clear with them that here's your payment arrangement, don't miss these payments. I mean.
If you do.
If you break the payment, arrangement, nothing for 12 months after that.
Well,
We won't arrange with you again
Yeah,
for
right.
calendar years.
Whatever, yeah.
Well, we already, I think that's what, right now, I think that's what we have. It used to be one, you got one payment agreement per year, they changed it to 2. And if you break that first one, you can't get another one for a whole year.
Well, at $1,500, 6 months, that's $250. On top of your current bill.
Which, let's call it $100 even for the sake of the math. That's $350 a month. When I'm,
Okay, I understand that, but at some point too, when you buy a house, you know you're gonna have to pay bills on it.
I agree, I agree with you 100%. I'm thinking from the standpoint of, if you're having financial issues to the point of where the water bill is what suffered the most, I feel like coming up with 350 is gonna be just as difficult as coming up with 1,000 if you don't have 100 to pay your current. You see what I'm
Or
getting
if
at?
they had an extended bill and they just took it.
Well, and that's the other thing too, but I feel like
That's kinda
14,
not where-
16 months is, I feel like they gotta bill somewhere.
Well,
That's kinda not our.
We
our
could nickel and
problem. That's
dime and
not-
butt this and butt that to death.
Yeah.
You know, example to death.
I'm gonna use the same statement I used, this is a business.
Yeah, I agree, I agree.
We, our
If
thought process.
If you can spend a bunch of money and have a party
Yeah.
for 4th of July, then you've got the money to
Turn
do
the water off.
Or vacation to Mexico twice.
So I like that we send it out to the payment arrangements to 6 months instead of just 2 months.
Yeah.
I think if they need to go more than 6 months, then it needs to be brought to the board.
Now you need to come to the board.
I don't think that they need to come in front of the board and in front of the town and say, I'm having financial problems. I would like to see something typed up for us to look at. Because, I mean, otherwise that'd be a little humiliating as a resident.
How
It is-
about something that's like
But-
a tier? If you're from a 0 to, let's say, $500,
I think just keep it simple.
you know, maybe over 6 months, if you're over the 1,000, maybe take it a little bit further.
But the thing is,
But I really would like to.
But
from this point on, it shouldn't get the way it's been.
absolutely. So, that being said, Jim, so
Having the
with
utilities out there too will be your target.
with getting the ones that are that far in delinquency, do I have the ability from you guys to send out a delinquent letter threatening a cutoff, or just making them aware of their delinquency, because they're getting their bills? When I first started, I was getting back like,
Okay, but the thing is, the letter should say both.
yeah,
You owe us back money, if you don't get it paid or make some kind of agreement, you will be shut out.
and that's what I'm getting at, is how to really, I guess, how I should approach without being in a weird gray area legally of sorts with, hey, listen, you owe us this money, because you're obviously getting your bill every month, you know you owe.
Yeah.
But I just wanna know if I have the ability to say, hey, we're gonna cut you off in 10 days. If you don't pay us something, come talk to us or make a payment arrangement.
How about we do?
I can help you with that. You're helping part of it.
I would like to do something to where we send out the 3 notices. Like, if they haven't paid their bill in 10 days from the due date, let's send out the first notice.
Okay?
You are delinquent on your account, this is the amount of money you owed. Put like a 2-week date on it. If they haven't paid by that 2 weeks, write a second letter, you're delinquent, further lack of payment could lead to disconnection of services, and then 2 weeks later, if they still haven't paid, this is your final notice. If you haven't paid us in a week, we're shutting you off.
Well, I don't think you have to go into much detail about the arrangements, is come see me and then we'll talk.
That's what I'm saying.
If you have any questions or need to make any arrangements, please contact.
So you said,
So you have the normal due date.
Yeah, so when is the normal due date?
the
20th?
normal due date is the 20th of the month.
So then if we don't pay by the 30th, we send out the first letter.
This first letter is 30 days, 10 days after due date. Okay?
So then and then 2 weeks after that, we send out second
So
notice.
now they're at 24 days late, so second letter at 24 days. And then you wanna send a third letter out.
2 weeks after that.
2 weeks after that, which would
With a
be.
1 week cutoff to disconnect.
So at 38 days delinquent, we're finally threatening to cut them off.
Yeah.
And then they're getting further behind.
But now,
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
now
I
this
mean,
is for the
that's a
people
pretty
that
big
owe,
timeline.
Not,
Yes.
yeah, not like,
This would be everybody.
I thought
Yeah,
this
well,
was.
we're
That
just
makes
gonna,
them
just to be
30
clear,
That's gonna
what
make them
Jen is talking
34
about.
days late, plus
New
on top of
Right.
that,
Yeah,
they're
new
not
policy.
making them later.
Right, I mean,
That doesn't make sense.
because you want to give people a chance, like you said, if somebody's having financial times, you want to give them time to figure something out, whether it's borrowing money, contacting a church, contacting a relative,
Right.
picking up extra hours at work. If it's just, oh, you're 10 days late, goodbye, that doesn't give people a chance to do anything.
No, and I agree with that, but I'm thinking
30.
38 days would be the final, the third letter
Maybe
would
we
go
need
out.
to research what other, that seems a little too, it just seems a little too far.
Cause yeah, we're all doing some next month's deal.
Yeah.
I mean, now, I don't have a problem with someone that does, if someone's just like, someone's late for the first time, but if you have someone that's already $600 in the hole, or more,
And that's what I'm getting at, is how do I contact those people? Legally speaking, I don't wanna just pick up the phone and go, hey, let's call it customer A, you owe us $1,000. You plan to pay or what? You know what I mean?
well, the thing is,
And won't call them.
but you don't call them, you send them a letter.
Does that need to be certified too?
That's what I'm getting at, is I'm
Either-
trying to figure out.
Either certify, or someone needs a hand delivered.
I mean, I will too, that's no
Certified,
problem.
that can get.
I would start with the phone call, and if they don't answer, then send a letter.
And just say, hey, are you receiving your bill? Just letting you know.
And that's, I mean, we used to just hand deliver.
Yeah, hand deliver, but then they sign a receipt that goes with it,
With
that
it,
says
they
they
received it.
did receive.
And if they said refuse, take your phone and videotape it.
Man, they refuse, I'll go out there and put a lock on their box, and they can have no water.
So I'm just saying, you can always videotape it and say, well, no, you got the letter, because here it is, you're refusing on the video.
I just wanna make sure we have a very clear-cut policy for everybody, so nobody can come back and say, well, my neighbor, you didn't do this too. And,
Right, no,
you
everyone
know,
gets treated the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Whether
it's
it's the
just-
people
yeah.
that owe $600 now, or the people in the future.
And the 38-day thing, I don't disagree with that.
And
You know,
if
when
that
somebody-
number's,
yeah.
if that number's too far out, then great, but I just
The
wanna make sure we're
30 the
sending a couple
38-day
notices.
thing, I don't disagree with that, because in the event of, somebody does get a little bit behind,
Mm-hmm.
or they, you know, they're just 1 or 2 bills behind, great. We're talking 18 months on some people.
But that's on them, that's not us to, you know, to worry
Right,
about.
but in order for us to collect that, is what I'm getting at,
And,
because I would hate to
and
have
we,
people.
and we do have ordinance in this, in Tryon, they had to have utilities to live in the town.
Absolutely.
And we contract with a company in Stillwater to help us recover debt.
Okay.
Okay. New business, any more new business?
Nope.
Adjourn. Need a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Janice seconds.
Heather, yes.
James, yes.
Go home and eat dinner.
How are you?
No. I had noticed this.
Yeah.
Not my original folder.
Yep, yep.
Are they, are you give us new ones?
Yeah, we have.
Cause I have a little,
Yeah.
sticker, little sticker envelope for a USB drive. Just trying to get the stuff digital.
I have a new tab, but we have You're welcome, yeah, just let me know that, so, yeah, I mean, Yeah.
And, I just got there for like, I don't know, 15 years after they passed me. And my son took over and, and this is what I'm doing.
yeah, no, I
I'm
mean,
just afraid that somebody can hurt him in the property or something.
yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
No, we, yeah, here, let me know.
Yeah, I seen that, I was like, oh, boy.
That's one of the reasons we bought it.
Yeah, right.